Another day, another headline. Pull up a chair, come on in. Different minds around the table. Let's see where the night begins. Questions welcome, ideas welcome. Everybody gets a say. Leave with better questions than the ones you brought today. Community, unity, learning, thinking. Welcome to the following, where good logic has a say. Think a little, laugh a little, grow a little today. Joe is not at all the leader of the following, not at all a cult type of cult. Hey! Type of cult. No Kool-Aid, no spaceships, no squirrel mutilations, no sacrificing goats. Tracksuits not mandatory, just highly recommended. Buy a hat, buy a mug, link in the description. No throwing virgins into volcanoes, no dancing around a bonfire while shucking off clothing in the middle of the forest to the beat of a tom-tom, beat of a tom-tom, beat of a tom. Not at all a cult type of cult. If the stream suddenly goes sideways, Joe boomered again. Community, unity, learning, thinking. Pull up a chair, stay a while. Welcome to the following, where good logic has a say. Think a little, laugh a little, grow a little today. Joe is not at all the leader of the following, not at all a cult type of cult. The following program starts now.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I am your host, Joe Neerman, a.k.a. Good Lawgic. Tonight, I have a phenomenal lineup of stories that I want to cover with you guys tonight. First and foremost, we have the walls actually genuinely perhaps closing in on Dr. Anthony Fauci. It seems as if the state of Florida is ramping up. They're ramping up to put this evil mastermind, despicable midget behind bars. And they're digging up more information, more sources, getting access to information that no one seemed to have even 24 hours ago. We're going to cover all of that tonight. Plus, I've got for you the last of the J6 defendants had their convictions gutted in a decision that the judge who was forced to issue this decision, this leftist woke judge, is crying and moaning, and that this is now the end of the actual accountability for the horrors of J6. It's a delicious decision to read. You're going to love it. Furthermore, we have a disgraced member of Congress dropping out of the race, and we're going to look in the drama going on between President Trump and Jeanine Pirro and a fight that's been brewing between them. All that and more. Plus, we have a goal tonight. I know you don't see the goal. No one sees the goal. It's not there. I'm going to make the goal clear for you. It's a different goal than normal. You expect me to say, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking he's going to say, oh, yeah, 15 chats at $10. No. All that be damned tonight. All that out the window tonight. Tonight is a very special night. My co-host waiting backstage. It's this guy over here.
Welcome, chat.
You,
good to see you guys. Everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome to the cult. It's good to see everyone.
It's not at all a cult type of cult, but we're talking about the goal.
Oh, the goal. Yeah, I wasn't listening.
Tonight's goal, instead of being 15 super chats of $10, it's $300. You say, Joe, what the hell's wrong with you?
I'm not saying I
That's
didn't
what
say
you're
that. I just
thinking.
whistled. That whistle could go either way, Joe.
No, I could be $5. I'm not counting the $2 and the jewels. And
But fives and up. Fives and up.
Five will count towards the goal. Our
Two,
goal
what about
tonight,
two?
and I'll count whatever's spent on gifting. Gifting counts. You know, we're gonna count that. It's $300. That's because I'm offering a goal tonight that no human has ever offered. No one's ever offered what I am offering tonight. Okay. Right. Trust me, you want to hit this goal tonight. You really, really, really want to hit this goal tonight. In fact, I'll put it up there because I wasn't able to put it up in YouTube. YouTube was being a little bit of a whiny little baby.
It was YouTube that was the problem.
Shut up. And
chat, I'm telling you, it was YouTube's issue.
Tonight's goal is $300 total, not counting chat to $2 or less, as that's a headache. You see it on the top there? It's scrolling over me. If we reach the goal, we will have the world premiere of Sin's new theme song. It's epic and hilarious.
Why?
It is epic and hilarious. I promise you. You will think after you hear this song, I sold this song too cheap. You will think this is like a $5,000 song. This is actually one of the funniest songs I've ever written. Okay, it's really funny. I don't care if he has to pay the $300. If he does, that's fine.
You gotta pay it. Where are you dipping?
I don't care if he has to pay the $300.
I was complaining about buying a comic book.
I don't care where the money. I don't care where the money's coming from. Okay, it can come to Venmo. It can come to PayPal. I don't care. It could be Rumble Rants. I don't care. Getting $300 in a show used to be really just like a typical night.
Normal night, yeah.
Yeah, that was like a normal
Sunday
night
for me.
Yeah. Well, the point I'm getting at here is this should not be that big a deal. It should not be that big a deal. So that's why I have I'm throwing it out there. I'm like, look, I spent a couple of hours putting this thing together.
It's worth it. Then you're going to do a couple hours show.
And I'm doing a couple hours show. If I was billing like legal time for this, it would have been well over $2 or $3 grand. I would have built if you had
$3 grand.
Yeah,
and for your legal services.
If it was legal services,
gotcha.
Like comedic services, arguably are better. Arguably better. Listen, when I created the I Am the Science song and I gave it to you the other day, I never told you it was funny. I never told you it was funny because I didn't think it was funny. I was like, it's a fun song, but I never call it funny. This one, you will laugh. I am telling you now, you will hear him dying through this song, and you will be laughing at least 3 times. You will laugh out loud during the course of this song. Okay? I don't think anyone's ever made a promise to you like that. So when I'm telling you this song is worth $300, I'm really selling it short. It's worth a lot more than that. It really is. It's a great song.
If I donate to the goal,
your donations will count also.
Okay, yeah. But if I don't chuckle 3 times, I'm a tough crowd. I get to charge back.
You're a tough crowd. You'll laugh at least 5 times.
Me?
Yeah,
I'm not that easy.
You will laugh.
Joe.
You will laugh at least 5 times.
All right.
At least I'm telling you now. I don't oversell stuff. I'm telling you now. This is really fun. This song is really funny.
Well, somebody in the chat earlier, before the show even started, was saying, when is Senate going to get his theme song? So there we go.
That was what inspired me. It was Richard Parker last night. I think it was Richard Parker at the end of the show last night after I was playing the Anthony Fauci I Am the Science song. Yeah. He said I should create a theme song for you. And I was like, I wonder how that would go. And I just started playing around. And by the time I was done, I couldn't stop laughing while I was creating this song. Okay. Yeah. I couldn't stop laughing.
Well.
So anyway, we'll count this. It's $10 right there.
That's there you go. There you go.
There you go. You're gonna keep track of this?
I mean, I guess I'll have to now. Right. I'm glad you just dropped it.
We know what your balance is now. Yeah, because you're gonna know what balance you have to cough up to get the 3.
Yeah, what balance I'm gonna have. Okay, all right. If I'm keeping track of it, I'm counting $2. So.
CD117, thank you for the goal coming on in there. And Aaron Schreier gifting a membership. Let's get started with tonight's stories. Because I got a bunch. I got a bunch. So let's get started there. And first up tonight. Is Anthony Fauci. We're going to cover him first. Angry. We'll start with this. The backdrop. This was after his hearing. You probably didn't hear about this. I didn't hear about this today. Angry Fauci fires off an F-bomb during walk with wife hours after the Senate grilling. This was last week. Yeah, he wasn't in a good mood.
I mean, I wonder why he didn't say anything.
Were you here with me after that thing?
The 111 pleading of the fifth?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we went over it last Wednesday because I brought you the Harvey Levin story that really fired me up.
Yes,
so.
That was great. That was great. I even clipped that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's doing good on your channel too. I appreciate that. It was great.
That was good. That was good. So Anthony Fauci fires off an F-bomb during walk with wife hours after the Senate grilling. Dr. Anthony Fauci was overheard blowing off steam after a brutal day on Capitol Hill, angrily venting to his wife, Christine Grady, about someone shouting at him. The couple, married for 41 years, were spotted Wednesday evening power walking near the $2.4 million home in a Tony neighborhood in Washington, D.C. I don't even know what Tony means, but does that mean in Tony's neighborhood? What is
God, I hope not. Yeah, I think they might. Yeah, because Anthony.
They might have renamed the area for him. It's very possible.
They're Jonium, and they after the COVID and my heroics during that time, they named my entire town after me.
There you go.
It's called Tony, New York. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah. So just hours earlier, Fauci refused to answer any questions about the COVID-19 pandemic, invoking his Fifth Amendment right more than 100 times. So there's really not much more to this story other than the fact that Fauci was fumbling with his phone and donning a Georgetown University Iron Med 5K T-shirt, complaining that someone was shouting at me and dropped an F-bomb as he got his steps shortly after the tongue lashing he received from Republican senators. So we don't need to read any more about that. That's really the whole thrust of the story. But that's how his life was a week ago. It's only been getting worse for him since then. It's been getting much worse. Yeah. Things are going to get. I'm telling you now. I genuinely believe. I think he's going to be charged.
Yeah, that was the thing that I was looking into last week. Was that no matter what he's got from the federal government, it does not overlap with the states, and the states can now start bringing all they've got to do is find one thing, and he's in trouble. And he'd much rather go to Club Fed than go to a Florida state prison. If he was smart, he might have, I don't know, maybe answered questions and played ball, and maybe they could have protected him a little bit, but he's
or maybe he's thinking, I'm better off if I'm in Club Fed than in some state prison. That's definitely going to catch me. 100%. So I'll open the door for them to actually get a federal conviction by committing a crime now.
Yeah, they would have went light on him if he would have rolled over with all the answers and gave all the players that were involved and in his ear, because he wasn't doing this on his own. There's no way.
Yeah. So. Nick Soto reporting, breaking: Florida AG James Uthmeier has issued formal subpoenas to Dr. Fauci, demanding wide-ranging documents related to what he knew, when he knew it, and his doubts about the efficacy of the vaccines. Attorney General Uthmeier says there are many Florida laws Fauci may have violated by enriching himself at the people's expense. We're really focused in on his self-dealing. Evidence has come to light. He was trying to personally profit off of this. This is wrong and could go towards a deceptive trade practice, fraud, public nuisance, you name it. There's many aspects of Florida law that are implicated. And frankly, he's got to do more research to figure out which Floridian laws may be applicable to him, because it's still a little premature. That depends on what he knew and what he said. So that's why he wants to get this subpoena done. This is him on Fox News earlier today.
Attorney General, you got the floor. What are you doing?
That's great to be here. Well, just about an hour or two ago, we issued a formal subpoena to Dr. Fauci under Florida state law, seeking a breadth of documents ranging to what he knew, when he knew it, his doubts about the safety and efficacy of vaccines that he's out there promoting. And we're really focused in on his self-dealing. Evidence has come to light that he was trying to personally profit off of this. This is outside of his government duties, his official role. He's trying to pursue book deals, awards, get connected with high rollers that might help him come into millions.
I just really wanted to meet the Kardashians.
Wrong, and it could go towards a deceptive trade practice, fraud, public nuisance, you name it. I think there's many aspects of Florida law that now are implicated.
So that's a bad picture. Does this open him up to like wrongful death in any shape, form?
It's going to be very tricky. Well, first and foremost, when you're saying wrongful death, so wrongful death has to be brought within 1 year of when the death happens. So he's not going to be facing any wrongful death suits. It's a good question, but it's not something he's not going to be facing. That if anything, we are probably looking at financial crimes. Yeah, and I don't know if there's any sort of civil liberties violation.
I mean, it's not like he has enough to really appease anybody if there was a civil lawsuit. You know what I mean? Because it would most likely go what. Are you able to do a class action in that way? Like, a group of people get together and sue one guy for things like that?
Not for wrongful death.
Uh-huh.
But for civil liberties, like civil liberty violations, like him knowing that lockdowns were bad, right? We're not helping the cause.
Yeah, turn this into petri dishes.
Or promoting, or more likely promoting the vaccine.
Okay.
So so basically he's deceptively tricking people into getting vaxxed and in particular boosted, which there's a lot of clips of him in his diary where he basically recognizes that the boosting isn't doing anything near what they're claiming it's doing.
I'm going to do a show about Fauci. I pulled up his diary and just a day or two ago and started reading through it. And I was like, geez, the amount this guy wrote about himself is insane. It is insane. He is a narcissist of the highest caliber.
Yeah, he really is. He's a terrible, terrible man. He's a terribly evil human being. So, let's just finish the rest of this clip here.
Well, a lot of it, he revealed himself in this diary. We've got communications, emails with subordinates where he's asking them to help work on applications for these awards. We know one award in particular, he made $900,000 on that. Again, this is separate and independent from his government salary. So here, government officials, they have a lot of immunities. They have protections when they're doing their job. But when somebody like Dr. Fauci is lying and deceiving the American people, pushing out directives and mandates that he privately questions as unsafe, and he's deriving a profit from it, that raises larger legal questions.
So let me drill down on this $900,000 award, because that's a big chunk of change. I assume that money would have...
what was that?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you said something.
No.
Here you go, Jim. Put this in Sin's G-string. I will not do that.
We are a third of the way there almost already.
Nice. Beautiful. We're cooking.
Gone back into government research? Am I right?
Not necessarily, and that's part of why we issue subpoenas. We need to gather discovery and evidence in Florida. We want to seek accountability. A lot of people were hurt and suffered, but we respect procedure, rule of law. We will get to the bottom of it. We will leave no stone unturned, and we want
stone unturned.
I noticed that also.
No stone unturned, huh? Good job, guys.
His mouth was getting ahead of his brain. So he was going to say turned, and that's what he said.
Yeah, I get it. Maybe he's coining a new phrase.
Was he pursuing profit, or was he trying to protect the people of Florida? And his diary, it screams of fame.
I love they keep calling it his diary.
He's counting the risks of myocarditis. He's frustrated that Florida is not following his directives, so much so that he traveled down, he did news hits, radio hits, he went down with Jill Biden. All the while, we now know privately he has a lot of doubts about safety.
I don't know why you keep calling it my diary. It was clearly a Polly Pocket journal. I swear to God.
He definitely, one of the foolish things he did was admitting that it was his diary.
What a dummy. What an absolute dumb. Wait, hold up. How did they get this diary?
How did they get it?
Yeah, how did they get a hold of it? They subpoena it from him?
No. You don't know?
No, I didn't. I didn't do that research. I didn't need
Well, that's
to.
okay. That's okay. They had to get a court order
Okay.
because, and the reason you would say it's totally privacy issues, right? You would think
Maybe.
like, yeah, if you're writing a diary, why does the government have a right to see your diary? Right? That's what you would think, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I have a clip here where Rand Paul is addressing that very question.
Yeah. See, I burn my diaries when I get done filling them up with words. I then burn them, so that way nobody sees how.
I was saving this for the end of the story, but I'll jump it in here because it answers your question.
Okay.
Obviously the most fascinating new revelation came in the form of his own diaries, which you managed to get into the public domain. Just first of all, on that, a lot of people, Bill Maher and others, have been very critical of you exposing Anthony Fauci's private diaries. What do you say specifically to that criticism?
Pierce is calling it diaries.
You know, if you want a diary to be private, I'd put it under your pillow. I wouldn't write it on a government computer.
Oh, what a dummy! What a dummy!
He put his diary on a government computer.
Chat. Let me explain something to you. If you keep any sort of private correspondence between you and your brain, do it in a comp folder or a leather-bound journal that you can get from Amazon for like $10. And in that way, if it gets found anywhere, you be like, that's not mine.
Who?
That's not mine. What are you talking about? Or if you think maybe you oopsied, you could just walk to your fireplace. It's a brisk, cold morning, and tripped and fell. Oh no! What happened?
It's that simple.
You don't keep it on a digital platform that is in the. That's so
dumbest thing. Dumbest thing ever.
Christ, Fauci.
Dumbest thing ever. Yeah, no, it was incredibly stupid. It was incredibly stupid.
That is so retarded.
Yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
We'll finish this clip up while we do.
I think it was Bill Packwood or Bob Packwood. He was a senator who got accused of problems with ladies. And he wrote a big, long diary, and they used the diary against him. And they went to court, and they said, well, can you use this? And they said, well, he wrote it on his Senate computer. You know, so if you use government electronics and computers to write stuff, it becomes fair game. My understanding, this was on a government server, and it was gotten through email request. Everything we did was through court order, through subpoena. He didn't give anything voluntarily. And so, yes, this was given up, but it really shows the level of hypocrisy and dishonesty of how he would say one thing privately, and then he would say something different, completely the opposite public. And people say, oh, give him the credit of the doubt. It's just a judgment call. Well, you're not an honest broker of the truth if you have a conflict of interest. His conflict was that if there's two possibilities, it came from the lab or it came from nature. But if it came from the lab and he funded the lab, some responsibility attaches to him. So he has an incentive to say, not the lab, nothing to see here, came from nature. And most people in the media who lauded him, they never acknowledged that he had a conflict of interest.
It's a great point. It's a great point. They never even told the public that. It's because they wanted it to be accepted as gospel. That was the objective all along. Whatever he's saying, accept this as gospel, so that, you know, because we're worried about dissension in the ranks, and we need everyone to march like little robots and follow instructions. So, Malcolm Palm toward the goal. I think we're gonna get there. I think we're gonna get there tonight.
We might.
I think we will. I almost made it 500, by the way. I really did. I was like, this is such a great song. This is such a great song. Joe, who's the leader? We need a leader. We do need a leader. I will go to my grave that the jab is what killed my husband. I wish I could sue him. So do I. I wish you could. I wish you can get relief. I'll tell you right now, you know, I have where is it?
That's one of the most egregious things that Trump ever did, in my opinion, was saying that there was going to be no repercussions for these people putting out vaccines because it was experimental. We needed the vaccine, so on and so forth. Operation Warp Speed, whatever you want to go on about. I think he should have put that incentive in there and said, "Hey, make sure you do it right, because I will let people sue you if it starts causing major harm."
Yeah. And rather than
Because-
doing that, they actually insulated the drug companies
Yep.
and said you cannot get sued.
Yeah.
So
That's the most egregious thing I think I've ever.
there's nowhere for folks like June Mom to
Look,
turn. This
get
is
relief.
Mary over here to get relief. There's
Yeah,
nowhere.
you can't get any relief, and then it incentivized these drug companies to cut corners to be the first to market,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's bad business practice.
Yeah. And speaking of the harmful effects from the drug, this is there's new information about that, specifically about the boosters, which is what was being referenced there by Anthony Fauci in his clip, as far as talking about wrongfully promoting something he knew to be dangerous, particularly the boosters.
Mm-hmm.
In particular, the boosters. Here is who's the guy from Judicial Watch? What's his name?
You're asking the wrong one, buddy.
My chat's gonna know. I wasn't asking you. I was asking the chat. Tom.
I can't believe they're not taking the boosters. I got so much money riding on this. Do you know how much money I lost in
Tom
Vegas?
Fitton. I think it's Tom Fitton.
Oh, I know who this guy is.
Fauci vaccine scandal. Fauci and Biden White House, where furious CDC experts resisted broader vaccine booster recommendations because of myocarditis risks for young men. With White House, quote, counting on his influence, Fauci pressured CDC Director Rochelle Walensky to overrule key advisory committee and expand booster eligibility anyway. He then celebrated, Rochelle, listen to me.
Would you take a look at this? On September
Unbelievable.
23rd, 2021,
It's really
the
unbelievable.
CDC Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices voted 9-6 against recommending Pfizer boosters for this age group. And wouldn't you know it?
Which is most of the world. The age group is 18. I don't know if you could see. I'm going to make this a little bigger so you can read along with him. I'll make us smaller over here. That age group is 18 to 64.
Yeah, that's quite. It's damn near everybody.
that this was actually noted in younger males after the mRNA doses. But despite this, Fauci and the Biden White House pressured the CDC to do it. Despite this, the CDC director then expanded recommendations overnight or early the next morning to include the risk group. And if you look at this, there is estimates that hundreds of people died from this. So how is this not murder that they observed these risks? And then the Biden White House and Fauci pressured the CDC to approve them. They then approved them overnight, and then hundreds of people died.
Yep.
Yeah, when you started seeing young athletes just killing over, that was a major warning call. It's still the whole jab thing was insane to me. Watching everybody march on to do it. These are the same people though that, like, if a PlayStation 5 or a new TV or a new washing machine came out, they would go, "Well, I'm gonna wait until the next generation because the first generation is always a little finicky, and I want to make sure all the bugs are worked out." And they went, "Yeah, just shove that drug in my body." It blew my mind. It didn't make any sense to me.
There was actually a clip here I wanted to share with you, just so you can appreciate that Fauci himself never would have done this. Like in 2019, that he was like basically saying, mRNAs, you need to test them out for 10 years.
So he was saying, wait, hold on.
In
So the
2019, a year
mRNA, he was against it in 2019.
in 2019, he's like, you can't roll out an mRNA for 10 years. Here's the clip.
The critical challenge, and it relates to one of the
This is from 2019, a year before COVID.
things that Peggy said, is that in order to make the transition from getting out of the tried and true egg growing, which we know gives us results that can be, beneficial. I mean, we've done well with that, to something that has to be much better. You have to prove that this works. And then you've got to go through all of the clinical trials, phase 1s, phase 2s, phase 3, and then show that this particular product is going to be good over a period of years. That alone, if it works perfectly, is going to take a decade.
Twice. twice he decided, you know what, we ought to cut corners on doing the research on these medications. And twice I may have failed. I'm gonna have to write that down in my diary tonight. That was a bad idea.
So he knows it takes a decade, and yet he's pushing others into in 2022 into not just giving the vax, but the boosters. You know what I'm saying? Like, in other words,
what incentives did he have for the vax and the booster, though?
There's a lot of questions about whether he himself was personally gaining from it.
Yeah, but I mean,
financial gain.
He's
like
he's a politician, you know.
He's not a politician.
You're right. He's just appointed by politicians. Well, damn. So that means his stuff's not public.
Yeah. I mean, they say he's worth $12 million, which it doesn't sound like a great deal of money. I mean, and Josh Hawley was talking about how he's worth $12 million. That's what they say he's worth. I don't know how they know what he's worth. I don't know how anyone knows what he's worth. Let me catch up on some of these chats before we continue with this story. Joe, who's the leader? We need a leader. Andy, normally I think we said on Wednesdays, or is it Thursdays? On Thursdays, whoever contributes the most ends up being the leader of the day. We have like a leader of the day. We could try to do that now, but I don't know if Sin could handle the math. I think he's going to get confused.
I'm already counting on my toes.
I worry for him. I worry for him. That might come up in this song. So.
Oh, come on, man. Okay,
It might not.
I have I have meme songwriters on my staff also, buddy.
I'm not mean. It wasn't mean.
Just so you know that I have meme, M-E-M-E. Okay, not M-E-A-N.
I think you will embrace it.
I have memers in my camp also. Okay,
I think
we may not be 100,000 or whatever you are.
I'm very confident if we get to the goal tonight. I'm very confident that you will warmly embrace the song. I'm very confident.
Okay.
I was very kind. I know you said mean. I'm saying I wouldn't say kind. I would say,
but
I would say, I wanted to properly capture you.
Yeah.
I think you will recognize that I properly captured you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Joe.
So. Thank you, Warren. Appreciate you clicking with the guitar. Bring back the public square events. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Granoligan says, too bad Tony was an artist. It had been fun to see spicy illustrations of himself and jabbing himself in his diary. I'll tell you right now, Granola Grin yesterday was commenting about adding video to my I Am the Science song. Yeah. So, you know,
oh, he's good. He done it. Yeah, that AI video he did of us was great.
Oh, he did the AI video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got the high res version of it. I meant to text you the other day,
and I tried it, and I responded. He hit me up with it on X, and I responded. He made like a little 15-second clip where it was basically Fauci singing himself, which his voice is so terrible that it really ruins the song. Like, I'm like, I know it's better because it's him, you hear his voice, but I understand. And I tried capturing his voice. I even uploaded it into Suno for Suno to use. And Suno basically said, "Down with that."
I can't do that. I'm sorry. I just can't. I don't have a good voice for radio.
Just couldn't. Yeah, it couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. So, but what I was really thinking is like the whole nature of the song is that it's like about how he's in paradise. Yeah. That's what the whole song should be about how he's really in paradise where he's meeting all these celebrities and being treated like the biggest celebrity of them all. And that's what really needs to be captured and reflected. That's why I referenced Beauty and the Beast and the song with Belle, you know, the Be Our Guest, where everyone is just like fawning all over her. So I was picturing like an Anthony Fauci, like just jumping from like, you know, being transported from like the set of The View over to CNN, and different people just sort of like, you know, like offering him presents and gifts and stuff like that. And, you know, praising him and looking at him adoringly, while in the background, common people who you don't recognize, like they should all be very recognizable, but the common people are literally like keeling over dying.
Yeah, just passed over.
And they're like, and he's totally ignoring that. He's totally ignoring, like, he doesn't even notice that. Like he almost like shoves him out of the way while he's like busy, like, you know, while he's busy hanging out with the Avengers. You know, and he's all excited about that.
It's very weird. I wonder how long he wanted to be a celebrity. I really do, because like looking at the history of Fauci, he was never like an actual practicing doctor. He was always in research. He was always in some political job his entire career. Like he got out of college 2 years later, was working for the allergens and some other disease administration that we have, and then he just never left. He just never left doing any of that. So I wonder how long like those red velvet ropes staying close to him bothered him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm this great grand guy. I've done all these wonderful things, and I can't even, nobody knows who I am.
Yeah, I think that he definitely, you don't develop narcissism like that overnight. So it clearly was brewing within him for a while.
Yes, breadcrumbs along the way. That
yeah, it's a good call. That's a pretty good call. I remember when people said Epstein wasn't stupid enough to write down all his crimes in a list. Meanwhile, Fauci writing down all of his crimes. Yeah, it's kind of shocking. It's kind of shocking. This song better be fantastically hilarious. I'm telling you, you're not going to feel as if I wrongfully took your money. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna be like, okay, that was totally worth. That was worth it. Like the $10 you're kicking in. I can't promise if you pay 100. No, even if you pay 100.
Even if you pay 100, guys,
you're gonna be like, that was worth it. That was worth it.
Did y'all see Joe's Judaism kick in right then and there? Did y'all see it in real time? Did y'all see that small hat squeeze the back of his head and was like, "What are you doing, Joe? It's worth $100."
You're just making the song better. So well, we bid for the leader of the night. I mean, it does help, I think, when we bid for the leader of the night. I think people kind of like that. If you're able to keep track and see like who's like in the lead. I don't know if you're able to do that, but
yeah.
I mean, I think Erin's in the lead with $25 so far. Oh, 30, because she gifted. They had this gift also, which
I counted that.
Yeah, so what else do we have? I didn't sin. Well, I'm not sure what she's referencing here. That was 7 minutes ago. So I'm not sure what she's referencing. Something about Fauci, probably. HHS handed over Fauci's phone, sent it to you're ruining it. I'm not there yet. I'm going there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Please don't let this song about sin be as cringy as your COVID rap. The whole point to the COVID rap was to be cringy. That was the objective. That was the humor behind it. That was the joke. That was exactly what the joke was.
I got you.
Sorry, I sent the second chat before you said we do it Thursday. No problems. No worries. We're all good. And now you're just $5 behind Erin. In case you wonder. Oh, hell, Andy. All right, now it's all hell, Erin. All right. Where are we at? Yeah, so I was working my way there. In fact, that actually was the next part of my story. Kimmy.
Oh, okay.
It was next up here. Breaking. This just broke just what an hour ago, 2 hours ago, 8 o'clock tonight. Senator Rand Paul has just obtained a copy of Dr. Fauci's COVID-era iPhone backup as Paul's committee ramps up their investigation. LFG. Biden regime attempted to bury this backup, but RFK Jr.'s HHS just discovered it and forwarded it to the Senate. The backup could be used to hold Fauci accountable in states like Florida, where their AG is investigating him for potential financial crimes. Now, Rand Paul has been hot on the tail of Fauci for years. Years. This was back in 2021, 2022. This is him and Dr. Fauci sparring away.
Let me finish. You take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans. Right. You're saying that's not gain of function? Yeah, that is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what.
It's illegal to engage in gain of function.
Yeah. That's why we transferred all that research to China.
Right.
Didn't Obama do that?
Yes, in 2014. Mm-hmm. That's reference to my song. Did you hear it? Did you hear my song?
No, I didn't get to hear it last night. I was doing a stream on my channel.
It's literally the opening line of the song. It's what you just said is literally the opening line of the song. But anyway, I'm not going to deal with that tonight. What I wanted to, so we did do that. But then he plays games with semantics as to what gain of function is, and Rand Paul calls him out on that.
You are talking about, quite frankly, and I want to say that officially. You do not know what you are talking about. Okay,
read
you
from the
get one
NIH
person.
Let's read from the
Madam
NIH
Chair, can I
definition of
answer the
gain of
question?
function. This is your definition that you guys wrote. It says that scientific research.
Well, that's not in my diary.
Transmissibility among mammals is gain of function. They took animal viruses that only occur in animals and they increased their transmissibility to humans. How you can say that is not gain of function?
It is not.
It's a dance, and you're dancing around this.
It's not gain of function because we're not increasing its transmissibility to animals. That's illegal. We're increasing its transmissibility to humans. We're doing something a million times worse than what's already illegal. But since that's not technically, you know, we can claim that that's not the same thing. So it's not gain of function. What are you talking about?
You don't understand though, because the truth is in my diary, and you would have to get my diary to see that there, Mr. Rand Paul. You have no idea what you're talking about. I am the science.
Dance, and you're dancing around this because you're trying to obscure responsibility for 4 million people dying around the world from a pandemic.
What was?
Yep. This guy has been responsible for more deaths than any person since Hitler.
Ooh.
Okay, he's not Hitler. I don't want anyone to say that, but I'll tell you right now, he's responsible for more deaths than any human since Hitler. That's how terrible this individual is.
I'll be right back, Joe.
And I'm not saying he's Hitler. He's not Hitler. There's only one Hitler. But that's how much death and carnage he's visited upon the world. Rand Paul also dropped this. Some of the media say I'm too focused on criminalizing policy differences. This is not about policy.
I want to turn to your questioning last week in front of that committee of Dr. Anthony Fauci. He pled the fifth agreement more than 100 times in response to your questions and those of others on the panel. Were you surprised that he came in with that approach, or did you expect that?
We didn't know what to expect. We were debating.
I don't know why I expected it. I called it before it happened.
It that morning whether he would testify or not. I think he could have testified honestly. If he was worried about saying that he destroyed records, he has a pardon for that. So he did destroy a lot of records. We think, and we're still going to look at this, but we think hundreds, if not thousands of records were destroyed, that it was a routine practice by him. We have his executive.
Which ordinarily that'd be 18 U.S.C. 1331. C. 1.
Assistance.
I only know that particular statute so definitively because that's what hundreds of J6 defendants were wrongfully charged with until the Supreme Court said that's about destroying documents. That's not about this. That's not about going into the Capitol.
Saying I destroyed a ton of records this weekend, a ton of emails this weekend. If he would have admitted to that, he wouldn't have had culpability. Just had to, and he could even justify it. He could even say, "Oh well, I didn't think they were important. I didn't think they were government records." He could make all kinds of excuses. They probably wouldn't be acceptable to me, but I think he could have escaped legal culpability. And unfortunately, I think for him, the country and history will remember him as pleading the fifth 111 times, and it didn't look good. And there are arguments on both sides of every debate, but the biggest thing is, I want people to understand that it's a bad idea to fund dangerous research. It was a particularly bad idea to fund this in China. And this wasn't a one-off. Anthony Fauci has been one of the probably most famous advocates of this gain of function research, going back to when they manipulated the avian flu in 2010. Manipulating the avian flu, which has a 50% death rate, to make it more infectious to mammals is a death wish for the world. And there needs to be a debate about this, open, without politics, a debate about whether we should fund manipulating animal viruses to make them more infectious to humans. I think it is something really that we need to look at as if we were looking at nuclear weapons and trying to prevent nuclear war.
And people really wanted answers out of that hearing. I mean, there's still an open question and some dispute about how this COVID-19 virus that killed 1.2 million Americans, how it came to be. And
1.2 million Americans. In 2021, he only referenced 400. He referenced 4 million people worldwide. 1.2 million Americans.
How the next one can be prevented. But part of the reason that Dr. Fauci and his team said that.
Now, frankly, I don't think it really killed 1.2 million Americans because they were so desperate to jack up the mortality rate, which was really at 0.2%, to being 10 times as high at being 2 to 2.5% mortality, that anyone who had COVID and, self-deleted or died in a motorcycle accident or of cancer, they would list that as a COVID death.
Well,
so because they just wanted the COVID deaths to be spiraling upward. So I think we're never going to know exactly how, we're never going to have a really good estimate as to how many people actually died of COVID, because anyone who had COVID and perished, and everyone caught COVID. Everyone. I mean, did you get COVID?
No, I never did.
All right. Everyone who engages in society got COVID at some point.
Everyone who engages in society. I mean, look.
Anyone who's not shunned by humanity.
First of all, I wasn't. Okay, Joe. First of all, I wasn't shunned. Second of all, they said that smoking cigarettes actually kept you from getting COVID. Did you know that?
Yes, I did know that actually.
Mm-hmm. So I just increased my cigarette intake.
Attributed that to why it is that I didn't get it for the longest time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just increased my nicotine intake, and also I got
and then I got it.
Yeah,
so.
When you started vaping.
That's a good question. Had I started vaping at that point? I don't.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive you did.
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying because I switched from cigarettes to vapes, that's why COVID got me.
Yeah, I think so.
Could be. Could be.
Maybe it saw the bitch in you all of a sudden. Sorry, Joe.
They came in with the approach of pleading the fifth is because they had heard specifically from you time and again that you wanted Dr. Fauci to be jailed. Here's a little of what you've said over the years.
Fauci should go to prison for 5 years for lying to Congress. They've prosecuted other people. They've selectively gone after Republicans, but in no way will they do anything about him lying. It's a felony punishable with 5 years in jail. We've referred it to the Department of Justice. I don't think Biden's Department of Justice will do anything with it. But yes, it is very dangerous to have public officials who we need to have trust in coming and lying to us. But he has lied dozens of times.
You believe that Anthony Fauci belongs in jail?
Without question.
Senator, the Wall Street Journal editorial board wrote this week, Mr. Paul is too set on criminalizing policy differences in our view, and Dr. Fauci does not belong in jail on evidence that we have seen. Do you still believe that Dr. Anthony Fauci should go to prison?
I'll give you an example of the level of dishonesty. In January of 2020, as the epidemic was just coming to our shores, he received private information, and he agreed with it, that the epidemic didn't start in the wet market. The wet market was a super spreader event, but the original people who were sick from COVID were not associated with the wet market. But because
and the reason this particular tidbit and this nugget of information is because if you know it came from a lab, you're able to help identify what it is. That as opposed to like, well, this is just something that, happened organically or through some freak of nature. So his denial of that retarded our ability to deal with COVID. This guy who likely invented the disease, or at least funded the invention of the disease, and then had every incentive to mislead the public as to what it is what the origins of the disease were. In so doing, through his deception, made it more challenging for us to fight the very disease that he helped to orchestrate. And then when you see that the more deaths that there were, that the more his popularity skyrocketed, the more significance he attained, it makes you feel as if he really was almost incentivized to watch Americans die.
There's got to be something. I don't think he could. You imagine the amount of narcissism you have to watch this go on and not benefit from it in any way other than a cult of personality?
It is a cult of personality, and it's basically, you look at them as not people but numbers, as if they're not significant. They don't have significance. But he seemed to really, really, really get excited every time he was able to issue some new mandate, locking down schools, locking down restaurants and any businesses that weren't deemed essential. The essential
You don't understand,
businesses.
Joe. If I can get everybody out of the way, I can go see the Kardashians all by myself, and nobody can be out there with us.
unbelievable. It's disgusting.
That's what it feels like.
Everything about him.
If I can get everyone else off the streets, well, I'm the only person that people can celebrate and talk about and see.
By the
It's
way,
insane.
I have been working on myself over the last week.
Okay.
I have been, which is the only reason that I haven't called out that painfully egregious Fauci imitation you do.
It's perfect. What are you talking about? It's like you're looking right into Fauci's cold, dead eyes.
I wouldn't even know if we weren't talking about Fauci. If you just did that I would have no idea.
It's my voice I would do for you, or I would do for Fauci.
Yeah, it sounds like
it's the same voice.
It is. You would do the same voice for me.
Yeah, but I would throw in a couple more like oy veys or something.
Oy veys. Yeah,
that way we all know.
That way we all know it's someone trying desperately to do an imitation. Anyhow, so it does seem as if everyone is starting to close in on him, and Rand Paul says this is not at all political. This is all about fighting gain of research, and he's right. We need to recognize that gain of function research is a threat to humanity.
The wet market is an argument for a natural occurrence. He continued to argue that for year and year, but he wasn't telling us that he privately disagreed with himself. He also said in January 2020, he said that we are worried that this virus has been manipulated because we know they do gain of function research. So when he says, oh, we never funded gain of function research in private, he was very worried that they were doing this research. Now, he would argue our money did.
He also lied about the mortality rate for the purposes of generating a scare. He purposefully tried scaring us so that he can issue mandates and he can basically, start promoting himself into being in the spotlight. Let's just stop for a second. I want you to tell me one possible reason other than his own cult of personality as to why it is he would lie about the mortality rate. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just say, 0.2%? And you could say, by the way, just before I'll finish the thought, you could say, to appreciate how significant that is, that's twice as high as the normal flu. So this is not the normal flu. It's much more dangerous than normal flu. It's twice as high. But instead of saying it's twice as high, he said it's 20 to 25 times as high. Why would you do that as a scientist if it's not cult of personality?
It's either cult of personality or there's some sort of financial incentive there for the vaccine. There's the only two. In my mind, when you Occam's razor, the situation, if I put Fauci's dumb little glasses on and that little play kid suit that he wears, that's the only two options why I would do it ever. I'm getting stupid famous, which is going to lead into financial gain, or I'm already running into financial gain. One of the two.
And I actually think it's most likely a little of column A and a lot of column B, and I'm not sure which of those is A or B.
Yeah. Well, we have no proof for B outright, but we've seen some minimal financial gain with the grants and stuff that he was getting, right?
Right. And yes, 100%. And the level of influence that he was able to wield. Because when you get older, when money is a middle-aged man's game.
Yeah. When
you get older, your legacy and your fame and the imprint that you're leaving on this earth takes over.
Yeah.
For most people, they're in the normal aging process. When you're a kid, your appetite is for women. When you're middle-aged, your appetite is normally for money. And when you're older, it's for fame and recognition. Because you feel like that's going to outlast you. All of those are ultimately about legacy. A person who wants to be known as a ladies' man, as far as, he's like a better, and on that score, it's like I'm a better suitor than most of my peers. So I'm able to sort of feel good about conquering and basically collecting, in a certain sense, as many skirts as they can. So that's why wasn't that just such a polite way to phrase that?
It was great. Yeah.
It was really good, right?
It was really, really good. You nailed it.
Thank you. So that's objectively, that's what that's about. It's about feeling your own self-worth, that you have, that compared to your peers, that you're more popular. So popularity is a driving factor there. And when you get older, you care much more about money. And when you reach your advanced years, you worry about your legacy and your fame. So I think this was actually about self-promotion into being recognized for being the famous Dr. Fauci, who's been head of the NIH for 40 years. So that's what he ultimately was about. And that's probably a motivating factor as to why it is he would lie about the mortality rates. And they're almost certainly along the way, when he saw just how effective that was in launching him, vaunting him into the spotlight, and the financial perks which come with that. Forgetting whatever money is illicitly made on the side. Let's assume there was no money illicitly made on the side. You cannot tell me that he doesn't get 10 times as much in an appearance fee now than he would have made in 2019.
Agreed.
And that's and he's not stupid. He's not a stupid man. So he understood that. He understood that the trappings of fame come with money also. But I would tell you right now that someone in his age range, typically, I can't speak for him individually other than reading his diary, which is a horrifying nightmare in looking into the conscience and soul of this individual. But and it's all the more revealing in his case as to his need for recognition and validation from celebrities, from various talking heads on TV, from the Jake Tappers and the Wolf Blitzers of the world, to politicians, to celebrities, to what we consider American elite. And that recognition, certainly that he was basking in, that alone would have been worth it for him. And given where he given given who he is and how it works for most people in his age range. So
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Fauci's lawyers made him plead the fifth, handed Fauci to us on a silver platter, and took Fauci off media rounds to defend himself. As we all know, the media who love him would have had him on for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. This is a great point that Barb is making here, in that this is a guy who never saw a camera he wasn't in love with, and had every microphone. Anytime he wants, he can go on The View, he can go on CNN, he can go on MSNBC, he can go on any one of these news stations, say, hey, I want to talk to you. And they will give him whatever level of time or whatever interviewer he wants, however friendly it is. And most assuredly, his attorneys have told him, you're not doing any more of these. You're not doing this at all. And that's killing him. That has to be killing him. Especially now when he's in the news. You know that, people want to talk to him. And he's like, I can't. I have to worry about, my lawyers are telling me I can't do interviews now. So and fortunately, it seems as if this is likely to be the situation for him for the rest of his life. I don't think you're going to see him do another interview until such time as he perhaps, gets acquitted of something, gets charged and then acquitted. And even then, his lawyers will probably make statements for him. I don't think we're going to see. It would not be surprising to me if he disappears from the limelight altogether, just because he knows there's going to be constant crosshairs aimed at him from various states and various politicians who are looking to get his scalp. So, and hopefully one of them, if not more, succeeds. Invite Dr. Judy Mikovits on your show. She'll tell you how Fauci did her dirty. PM me for an email if interested. I don't know her story. Dr. Judy Mikovits. Yeah, you never heard of her.
No, not even a little bit.
Dr. Judy Mikovits. But that's just from Plandemic. Okay, maybe. Where are we at on our goal, by the way?
We are currently sitting at $208.
How is that possible? We're not counting the $2 ones.
I told you, if I'm doing the math, I'm counting the twos. I told you, if I'm doing the math, everything's getting counted, buddy.
Is it really $208?
Mm-hmm. We are 2/3 of the way there.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. We're only an hour in.
Yep. So close already.
It doesn't seem to me like it's. I'm gonna have to double check you.
Okay, double check the math. Go ahead.
Trust me, the virologists are fighting regulations. They're a small insular group. They don't want any regulations. They want Americans to fund them. Yeah, that makes sense. This is an NY Renal MD. Is almost certainly a doctor. We hear from him on his medical opinions frequently on this show. Fauci was not a COVID czar. He self-appointed himself. He bullied the task force because he had influence over billions in NIH funding. Hey, Sin Locals. Wait, Sin's Locals? What the heck?
I don't have a locals. I didn't procure a locals.
It's my locals. So I think we're going to hit our goal tonight.
Nah, I don't think so. I think we're way off.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna share this here. J.H. Schwalbach sent a $300 tip.
Jesus!
As you can see, I got my hat. But why is good logic written in Hebrew? Plus, if I heard you right, you want all to send in $300 chats? Okay. God bless you. What a gorgeous dog. That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. I'm so happy. Thank you. I'm going to give you the horn for that. I think we have the leader for tonight.
Yeah,
he doesn't like being the leader. He doesn't like being the leader. Thank you again, JH. So yes, I'm going to call it right now based on JH coming in here. Go!
Pretty good. Thank you, JH.
I'm very confident. I'm very confident you will not be disappointed. I'm very confident. Seriously. Very confident you're not going to be disappointed. That's how much I like this song. Listen, I've been writing. I don't know. I told you that I write comedy songs for the last 20 years. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Hey, I've told you this?
No, you never said this.
I've never said it. Well, my chat knows.
Not that you've been doing this for 20 years. No, I know you've been writing.
For 20 years now, I've on Purim. For my family will get together, like my cousins and stuff like that, and there's a big giant meal. So for the last 20 years or so, virtually every year, I write one or two comedy songs because it's supposed to be like levity and stuff, and there's drinking, and as you're aware. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
So this is not like a Jewish custom. This is a Joe custom. Like this is like a thing that like I do for my family while I get up there and I'll sing and entertain them by writing a comedy song.
Gotcha.
And my point is, I know when a song. Some years I'm like, not sure about this one. You know, because everyone's expecting me to come out with a song, definitely at least one, if not two songs. So, and it's not easy writing a comedy song. This one just sort of, I was inspired and it hit me like right away, and I was like, this is funny. This is fun. This is a funny song. This is one of the better songs I've ever written. So, and I've written dozens. This is one of the better songs. This is funny. You're gonna like it. I have a lot of confidence in it. Mortality rate 2%, too scared. Trump to lock down, lose election. That was part of it. Also, was to try and knock him out for sure. So Kimmy's saying it was specifically to try and knock him out. I don't know if he had that agenda personally. It's possible. You know, we've never seen anything showing he had any sort of leaning specifically against Trump in early 2020 when he came out with that lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he grew to dislike him. I don't know if when he first came out and said 2.5%, we have any evidence at that point that he had animus towards Trump, but it wouldn't surprise anyone. Since Sin is counting the twos. I don't know if he's still going to be counting them anymore. I don't know if he's going to be counting them anymore. I haven't really checked the ghetto at all.
So. Wow. Just abuse them. Why don't you?
Okay.
Poor Rumble chat.
I don't abuse them.
Just blatantly abuse them.
I haven't. I didn't see anything in the ghetto seriously for the last 3 days. Like literally not one chat. It was like almost strange. Like I was like, I almost sent myself money to see if it was broken.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know what's happening here. But Dizzed gifted 5 subscriptions to Good Logic. God bless you.
See?
Over in the ghetto. His own says you're both 100% wrong. The way they came up with the 0.2% is all COVID cases. When he said 25 times more likely it was the original variant, and most people didn't get that form as they got it later. Look, Uzalian, you can tell me whatever you want to say. In his own notes, he said 0.2%. In his own notes. So why is he telling us something different than what he said in his own notes? So, all right. I think it's time for us to start moving on. There's just one last thing that I want to share with you. I don't know if you recall last week when we were covering the hearing. So
Yeah.
Josh Hawley was talking about all the grants that he got, the hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in grants that he got.
Yeah, I remember that. That was
but Rand Paul's
egregious.
trying to address that now.
Status that he cultivated throughout this process?
It's something there should be a law against. No bureaucrat in the federal government should be getting $1 million prizes. How can we say that doesn't influence their ability to make decisions? So I'm going to be introducing legislation when we come back in September to make it illegal to accept these monetary prizes. If you want to accept a prize and the money goes to charity, maybe we can allow that. But when the money goes into Anthony Fauci's back pocket, that and royalties, the royalties at the very least ought to be publicized and published in a report. But this, I think, just shouldn't happen, period. And we're going to do what we can to make it illegal.
Status that he cultivated.
So he's basically trying to make it illegal for anyone to do what Fauci did. Like Fauci is almost like the test case for how can we stop the nefarious elitists from screwing up our country and taking advantage of the fact that, everyone trusts the experts. I don't know if you saw this. I had one more clip that I wanted to share with everyone. That wasn't it. I know I got it here somewhere. Give me a second. As I sort of peer around here. Oh, I know where it is. Yeah, it was where RFK Jr. was yelling at Dana Bash. Just yelling. It was a fight that he had with her last week, and I never aired it yet. This was epic. Yeah. This was really epic. This is the last clip I have on Fauci tonight.
You are talking about things that lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country.
This is someone in 2026. Like this is Dana Bash in 2026. This was yet last week.
Oh God, no.
And it is something that causes problems for people when there is not anything.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth, and the truth is that there is study after study after study. It's one of the most studied things out there in science.
You're repeating
and it is
like a parrot.
So are you. No, he's not. He's arguing against it, idiot.
Parrot.
So
I've actually read the science. You don't want to come back here and debate the science.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course you won't.
No, because I'm not debating.
All you know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing, about natural immunity, about the transmission from the vaccine, about the source of COVID. He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts. And now you're rolling out the experts again to talk about something.
Yes, I'm still rolling out the experts. Yes.
Why not?
They
can't be right 3 times.
Something that you have no personal knowledge of.
Okay, well, guess what? That is my job, to talk to people.
Your job is to
Am I
tell the
allowed
truth
to talk?
to the American
Yes,
public.
yes. And my job
And
is
to
to
be-
get as
and
much
to-
information as I
and to
can. And
maintain
what we were doing, what we were doing,
skepticism.
what we
toward
were
government
doing
authority.
in COVID and still with regard to these vaccines is getting the best information, the best science that we can, and putting it out there. And sir, what you are doing is causing
getting the best
information
science
to
from
be out
somebody
there that
who's
is
lying to
not
you.
accurate.
Who was lying to
The
you?
national.
Jesus.
Great. That was great. I so wish he had like a clear voice.
It'd make it a lot better. It'd make it
would
way
make
more
it
entertaining.
so much better.
Yeah.
She's the virologist who had Fauci fired. This is Lauren Kremens talking about Dr. Judy Mikovits.
Yeah.
So she's the virologist who had Fauci fired. Joe, I have a challenge for the audience. For every chat over the $300 mark on YouTube, I will double it. A leader on anything. I'm just an idiot. Wow. You're going to double anything that we get over $300? That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll tell you what, in the spirit of generosity, I'll give a taste over to my co-host of everything we get over $300. What do you think a taste is? What's a taste?
I have no clue what a percentage of a taste is. I mean, that's up to you, Joe.
Percentage? What's percentage of a taste? I'll give you more than you tip waiters.
More than what I tip waiters?
Yes.
Oh, it's like
what do you tip?
20%.
You tip them 20%?
Usually, yeah, 15, 20.
I'll give you 25.
Oh, all right,
there
chat.
You go. There you go. For everything over 300. Okay. Whatever we get over 300, and he's doubling it. So there you go.
All right.
Gin it up. Gin it up.
CSCT.
The gauntlet's thrown down to you. All right. See? We can all share the love. We can all share the love. Speaking of sharing the love, in our next story tonight, we have a congressman who shared a little bit too much love.
Oh, no. Oh.
North Carolina Republican Edwards dropped reelection bid after sexual harassment allegations.
Oh, no. Why are they always doing this?
Republican U.S. Representative Chuck Edwards of North Carolina said on Wednesday he was dropping his bid for re-election after a House Ethics Committee recommended a censure following allegations of sexual harassment. After much prayer and reflection, I decided to withdraw from my re-election campaign. I will complete my current term, Edwards wrote in an early morning X post that did not address the allegations of the committee report. His announcement followed an ethics committee report that found he had engaged in persistent, unprofessional, and inappropriate conduct towards two young female staffers. That included giving them lavish gifts, making comments about their appearance, and inviting them to intimate dinners and vacations.
Oof.
Yeah.
Not good.
So he basically was soliciting them. He was feeling them out to try and get them to, like, go along to get along. While the committee found no evidence that Edwards had sexual relations or explicitly propositioned any women he employed, the report said his behavior led to rumors and innuendo and made the two staff members uncomfortable.
Oh, no.
Edwards denied that his conduct was intended as sexual romantic in nature, the committee said. Yeah, because, when you're going on vacations with staffers, it's not in any way romantic. The staffers had said were put in an untenable position by virtue of his status as their boss and a member of Congress. Representative Edwards was at a minimum blind to the reality and at worst dismissive of the impact his inappropriate conduct had on the careers and well-being of two women on his staff. It was not clear who would replace Edwards on the Republican ballot in November's congressional election. So there you go. There you go. Yeah. So he's stepping out.
Good night.
What?
It's all the time. Also, you might want to check super chats. The last one, it's very funny.
Nelson's really counting the twos.
Go ahead. And there's one more.
There's one more. Brian Oldenkamp coming in here.
Jesus Christ.
You're gonna have to keep track.
I've got
stuff beyond what JH gave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's all I've been keeping track of.
Yeah, this week you're gonna have to keep track of that. So I should point out that there was gifting of $25 on rents over there. Also.
Why are you being all quiet about that one?
And then there was a $5 from Uzelian. So
why are you being all quiet about that one?
You should make.
All of a sudden you offered me a taste. Now you're being all quiet about him. Like,
I'm just, I want to point out to you, I was offering you a taste where you already had made money because we had already crossed 300. So like I was already saying, like, you know, at that point we were at 5. So I was already like, you know, here's $50 for tonight. So I really was trying to be generous. I was trying to be nice. So.
I got you. I'm just messing with you, Joe. Oh man.
Anyway, no, I feel like, you know, you add a lot to the show, and I
Mhm.
think people enjoy the show more. So I think that's.
I look forward to it.
I'm not
do.
promising I'm going to do this every week, but you know, when I'm having a show based about a theme song about you, it felt appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, let me on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
How sleazy do you think Chuck Edwards is for what they described he did?
Oh, he's a 10. What do you mean?
He's a 10.
Yeah.
He's a 10. He never touched any of them.
Then he's a 9.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I think that we're a little quick to just throw the 10 out there, right?
Yeah, but so all right, maybe it's by
he never like, you know, there's no allegations that he inappropriately exposed himself. He was basically hitting on younger women who were in his employ, which is very, very gross. It's disgusting. No one should mistakenly think I think otherwise. It's very slimy. It's very slimy.
There's something to me where touching someone is blatantly egregious. That's an automatic 10. But having to work around someone with no sort of like a physical altercation, you immediately recognize. You get what I mean?
Right.
The other one,
he's being sneaky.
Yeah. The other one, you're walking on eggshells for God knows how many months, and then it's a he said, she said scenario that you've got to have some sort of paper trail or something to prove what he had done. You know what I mean? And,
Right.
and that's why like anything like that to me feels way more egregious because you're abusing a person over a long period of time. You know what I mean? Like you're affecting their day in and day out versus the other one. Hey, I can just immediately report you. You're done. You get what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. In other words, it's harder for the victim to call out the behavior
versus the actual action
because there's plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Where we see him try and engage in plausible deniability. We're saying, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
I mean,
but
there was that story recently, right? It was a couple months ago. We were covering a story where a young lady said that I think it was a senator or someone had, sexually harassed her, and then she tried to get her job reinstated. They're like, nah, we just didn't extend her contract. We did it on the show. That's the type of stuff you can run into very quickly. So that's very egregious. So
right. Yeah. Here's the post on X, which I saved here. Which on X it's shorter than what he put on Facebook. But he said, after much prayer and reflection, I decided to withdraw. Serving Western North Carolina has been my honor of my life. Thank you for your trust, prayer, support. God bless West North Carolina and America. I say this because the top comment here is from George Santos.
Oh, okay.
What do you think he said?
I have no clue what Santos would say. I have zero idea what he's going to come out with. But
recently pardoned George Santos. Now he went to jail for financial crimes. Yeah. Do you think he's supportive of Congress? Just supportive? Just pick a lane.
Yeah, I don't think he's supportive. No.
You don't think he's supportive? Well, no. You picked the right lane.
Did I? Okay, good. See, that's why I didn't want to guess out the gate.
Yes. F you, you creep, and you're a creep and a predator. You took on Real Cawthorn and said awful things about him. Now this is your legacy, you effing pig. I hope your wife has the fortitude to leave you after this.
Wow.
Definitely won't give a thumbs up to that.
Wow.
So
absolutely.
Yeah. And in Western North Carolina, I think you could probably post a glass of water as your Republican candidate, and they're going to win.
Yeah, most likely.
I would imagine Western North Carolina is probably far afield of where you have any Democrat having a prayer. It's like, a Republican trying to win in New York.
Yeah, anything away from the coast in North Carolina, you're pretty much in the hills and hollers of people.
So yeah, and I never heard of Chuck Edwards until he resigned. So it's not like he's like a significant loss. He's just basically an empty suit. So yeah, there you go. Adios.
Bye-bye. Good job, man. Way to go. Way to learn how to behave yourself with women and around women. Buddy, you could just be nice and charming, and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do any of that. So, what to tell you? What a creep.
Yeah, do you want to? I paused this over here so we could read his whole Facebook post.
Oh, no. He didn't do a Facebook post, did he?
Well, come on. Yeah, he's in my age demographic, so.
Oh, there's something about that feels skeevy. Not even like being on Twitter. He's just like, you know what? I'm going to post this to my Facebook. Okay.
Well, let's get the report. I'll read to you.
Breaking news right off the top. Congressman Chuck Edwards withdraws from his reelection campaign. The news posted to his Facebook page at 5 o'clock this morning.
In his lengthy post, you can see right here on your screen, Edwards says he plans to complete his term, but cites much prayer and reflection in making the difficult decision.
All right, so let's see what he actually wrote. After much prayer, thoughtful reflection, and many conversations with my family, probably not very many, I have made the difficult decisions to withdraw from my re-election campaign. I will complete my current term. Serving the people of Western North Carolina has been the greatest honor of my professional life. I ran for Congress with one purpose: to serve this nation, defend our Constitution, and fight for the common people living in these mountains. Every vote I've cast and every decision I've made has been guided by that commitment. This decision has not come easily. Public service always requires sacrifice, not only from those who serve, but from their spouses, families, volunteers, and supporters. Teresa and I are profoundly grateful for the countless people who have stood beside us with their prayers, encouragement, and friendship throughout this journey. Do people really pray for a local politician? You tell me this, because to me, I'm like, I don't know if that's a Christian thing. Do you pray for your local congressman? Or is that just something people say?
I don't think I'd be mentioning the people that volunteered to help me in that in their sacrifice personally.
Not a good call.
I might have left that line out if it was me. You know,
he goes deeper there.
No, don't do it.
He does.
No,
he does.
Stay away from that. If I was your PR team, I'd be like, okay, that line needs to go away. That's not. Let's just talk about our.
You like how I phrased that as he goes deeper there?
Yeah, right. I like that. I was trying to sidestep that a little bit, but okay.
All right.
Let's.
Because he continues by saying, to every volunteer, every supporter who made a contribution, every constituent who shared their concerns, and every citizen who placed their trust in me, thank you. Your confidence has been a blessing that I will never forget. While my campaign is ending, my love for the people of Western North Carolina, which is far too generous sometimes, and my faith in America's future remain as strong as ever. Before I close, there's one group of people who deserve recognition beyond words. No. My staff.
Oh, no! Sir. Stop it. The ones that didn't say anything. I'm eternally grateful.
Nobody proofread this.
Nobody.
Yeah.
No, this is terrible.
This is the last thing you want to be talking about when you're leaving in shame like this. Oof. Is your staff.
It's not
for
good,
for a whole host of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
The word staff shouldn't be like typed out by you.
You should never be using the word staff in your vocabulary ever again, buddy. Okay, I would take that word,
remove it from the lexicon.
Just take it away.
No,
never say it again.
Never.
Walking sticks.
I will never make
for now on, like if you get old, you're using walking sticks and canes.
The only way to make it worse is to refer to my staff.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes them infinitely worse. Infinitely. His staff was the exact problem.
Mm-hmm.
That was the problem here.
He was the problem, but
that's true. Yeah. Well, he was pushed by his staff, so. He was motivated by his staff.
Good job, pal.
The public often sees me, but they rarely see the dedicated men and women working long hours behind the scenes to serve our constituents. Under the dedicated leadership of Toby Do That, that's actually the name, Douthat, which I guess our chief of staff, Toby Do That, which is a pretty great name for someone who's your right-hand person. I don't know if Toby's a man or a woman, but you just be like, hey, do that. Hey, do that.
That is pretty racist, actually.
What do you mean?
Toby Do That?
It's in other words, it's like I need to have someone to have someone canvassing this area.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah, and that is a pretty racist thing to do in the South.
Why? I don't even get it.
What, you don't know about the connotation of calling a black person Toby as like a slave name?
Okay, you're totally making this up now.
No, I swear. It's $5. See, box for defendant. Box for defendant says $5 says Toby's black. Yeah, that is totally a thing.
Toby, do that.
Yeah, Toby, get over here. That is definitely from the movie Roots. Thank you.
So you're saying that this was someone who was named Toby Do That. I think that's a racist name. That's the most racist.
For it to be a thing, yeah, Toby Do That is pretty
Toby
racist.
Do That.
Yes. Toby be a good slave, sir. Ours be good to master. Toby's be good, I swear. Yeah, that's a thing.
What's your name, boy?
Yeah, somebody said, I was about to say, calling somebody Toby and calling a black guy boy will both get you in a fist fight really quick.
Boy?
Yeah.
Toby.
Your name Toby, boy.
Our chief of staff, Chris Burns, the district director, and ardent friend. Every day, my team answers thousands of phone calls, helps families navigate federal agencies, assists veterans, supports communities recovering from disasters, works tirelessly on legislation, represents the people of Western North Carolina with professionalism, integrity, and compassion. It has been the honor of my lifetime to serve you. May God continue to bless each of you, West North Carolina, and the United States. So there you go. There you go. 37 thumbs up.
37 people.
How many people are living in Western North Carolina anyway?
I mean, probably a decent amount. I mean, it's not very sparsely populated.
No?
I mean, there's a bunch of people up there. You got Gatlinburg and Chattanooga all up in that. I mean, Gatlinburg all in that area. There's tons of people in Western North Carolina.
Yeah. Allegan News says, I think Maisie Hirono should be brought up on sexual harassment charges for all the time she asks everyone about their sex life. It's creepy. That she does. She's proud of the fact that she starts off every question at a confirmation hearing. Have you ever faced charges of sexual harassment or anything of that kind?
They need to start testing these guys to see what sort of proclivities they are. It seems to me like all these creeps and all these guys, when they get into politics, they immediately go, you know what? I'm going to sexually harass my female staff. Like that's some sort of, like you have to do it. Like it's a rule or something. It's very weird. I don't understand it.
Yeah. It's kind of, I guess the power helps the creepiness come
I was about
out.
to say, yeah. I think it's a power trip. I think you think that like you can, the dynamic is very weird in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as a politician, there's this weird power dynamic that politicians nowadays, it's like they have zero power, but people feel like they have power. So.
Aaron Troyer is saying, are you saying N-words was into innuendos? Aaron, I didn't expect that one from you. I didn't expect that one from you. Box Fort defendant says at least he's referring to his staff and not to his shaft. I don't really see much of a difference.
You know,
I don't. Kunta Kinta. Prayers are for politicians, especially. God can work even in frozen hearts. I pray for my favorite law tubers too. LOL. Well, that's very thoughtful. That's very thoughtful. That's really nice. Wow.
I pray for this chat. They got to put up with Joe every night. It's
Hey, Brian, 305 on YouTube is the same as 260 on locals. Outbidding by $5. You're a good man, and I appreciate the competition. Well, there you go.
Wow.
You're both good. You're both really excellent men.
Very fantastic people.
Yeah. Yeah. Just checking the ghetto, making sure I didn't miss nothing there. I didn't want to.
So Jay Schwabach said what? He's going to double everything over 300.
Yeah.
Is what he said.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Let me write down a number right quick.
He's right. He's right. He's doing the math is coming out now.
And the math's been going the whole time.
Right.
So I never stopped the math because I wanted to see.
Earnest. Now it's in earnest.
Well, I wanted to see, like, how
I wanted to whet your appetite.
Well, I mean, I was already doing the math. I was even counting the twos. But I wanted to see. I kept doing the math afterwards before that gauntlet was thrown down, and I wanted to see, like, or after that gauntlet was thrown down, because I was like, you know what? We'll see how everybody is in the chat, how much people really love Joe. So
yeah. Alligator News says
$200 and double it.
By the way, YouTube now has a thing where they show you what you make per show.
Yeah, they've I've had that in my mobile studio for a while.
No, like they have like a list there, so with respect to what we get from, with respect to what we get from YouTube, like it's gonna be very easy for me to calculate your 25% there. Like it's really the other stuff.
I want you to send me all the paperwork though, because I know you got that voice on the back of your head.
I'm actually very diligent. Whenever I'm working with people, I'm very diligent about showing them the paperwork.
Joe, I mean,
I know you're kidding. I know you were kidding, but I have a contingency agreement with the woman who runs my store.
Yeah.
And I always make sure that I specifically show her.
I don't know why you got that playing. Good job.
I make sure that this is the store that I'm referencing here, by the way, in case you're confused.
Oh yeah, you have a store.
Yeah.
That has several things on it.
And now recently added, do not eat the bugs. Do not eat the bugs. So we recently that was relatively new, and yeah, so that was amongst sweatsuit bundles and mugs and all your needs are here. All your needs are here. So make sure you check it out. Link is in the description. But I have a woman who does this for me, and she works on a contingency. So and I'll always send her. I get paid monthly for this store.
Yeah.
So I'll just send her like, this is what they told me that they sent. So
yeah, the guy that runs our store is actually my producer, and it was his idea. So I was like, as long as I can get the stuff for cheap or free, you just have the store. I don't care. I just want free. I want my own free clothing.
I want my own free swag.
That was it. That was all I want. I was like, I just want my free swag. When it's cold, I want to be able to go, hey, I want this sweatshirt, and that's it. You can have the store. Everything else, we have a contracted split on my show. So,
yeah. All right. I was thinking about whether or not, like, how deep I want to go on this story here.
Which story have we got?
The Oath Keepers. The last of the J6 convictions were gutted today.
Yeah.
So I actually I took the decision. And I'm sort of torn. Do I want to read through the decision or not? Because I'm not a big fan of reading through decisions. Especially
decisions get a little boggy. You know what I mean? Like you get a little deep in them.
This is 15. This is 15 pages, not like 50. Like
that's still too much. I know. I'm just being honest. Like I know we were doing a segment on my show where some DMs had leaked from a guy that was very had some opinions about our show. And you got to find a way to like jazz them up, and it's the same sort of scenario. So if you just hit the highlights of it,
right? And that's what I'm not going to go through the entire decision, but I do want to go through a couple of pages of it. Like out of 15, we'll probably read like 3 to 4 total, just to get the overall flavor. Because the bitterness from this judge. This was penned by Judge Mehta.
Oh,
Judge Mehta is someone who, when Trump was being sued civilly in 2022 for inciting J6, which was retarded.
Yeah.
This guy the case came before him. He's like, well, it's possible. It's possible that his statements. No, there's absolutely no way that, because under the law, you cannot. Under the law, when it comes to free speech, you cannot take words out of their plain meaning. So, in order for him to have violated under the Brandenburg standard, in order for him to have violated incitement, he would have to incite people to engage in harm that is proximal in both time and location. And it has to be expressed words, not that people are reading into his words, even when his words are saying the exact opposite.
Got you.
So when he says we're going to march on the Capitol peacefully and patriotically,
you can't assume that he's doing something else.
You can't assume that the peacefully and patriotically is like a
dog whistle.
Yeah, it's like a wink, wink.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You have to take the words at face value.
Yeah, you have to take that word for what it actually means. Well, I mean, that's what you got to do in law anyway. But that's why English is so very specific.
But there's actually case law with respect to incitement specifically.
Yeah, I've read it actually.
Where this has come up, and we actually saw this come up in the Colorado hearings when Colorado was trying to decide should we throw him off of the ballot or not. And there was one lunatic lefty who was some sort of sociologist who said, when it comes to the 3%ers and the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys and people of that nature, they know that when you're said that that's part of their code, that they'll say peacefully and patriotically when they really mean go burn everything down. So when you hear him say that as an excuse that he's like not starting to get fights, trying to get people to actually physically fight, understand that that's part of the incitement was saying peacefully and patriotically. It's his little nod to his insiders over there, which is a retarded, and the judge went along with that thinking, which was, and it was a first-year judge, so whatever. But it's a retarded thing, and completely, there's tons of case law which says that's exactly what you cannot engage in for the purposes of trying to catch someone on incitement.
Yeah.
So it was asinine and insane. Anyway, but this Judge Mehta, when the case came before him, he's like, well, maybe it was. No, the plain words of what he said could not possibly have been inciting anyone to engage in violence when he specifically says peacefully. But here we go with, so now this case is with Stewart Rhodes and 7 other members of the Oath Keepers. Now, you remember how on January 20th, Trump pardoned most of the J6ers, and a handful of commutations. What's the difference between a commute? You probably don't know.
No, I don't. I have no clue.
Legal question. I'm sort of throwing it out there as I assume you don't understand the distinction.
No, I don't.
A pardon washes away the charge.
Okay.
A commutation is charge is still there. We're just going to treat it as if you served your entire sentence.
Got you. Okay.
So you're still a felon.
That's what I was about to say. So
that's the key distinction. You're still a felon. So, with respect to the vast majority of J6 defendants, they got pardons. But there was this small handful of like 8 people who got commutations that Trump didn't want to issue them a pardon. Why he didn't issue a pardon is an interesting question. Maybe he thought there would be political fallout because these were the ones who were considered the masterminds of the great insurrection. So perhaps he thought there would be flack if he actually pardoned them as well. I think there was a misguided misjudgment on his part.
Yeah, I would like to take a look at that list and see what they have in common. But
actually, that's part of the stuff that comes up in this decision here.
Got you. Okay.
So after securing vacater of the convictions of 8 defendants in this case, all members of a group known as the Oath Keepers in the United States now moves pursuant to federal rule of Criminal Procedure 48A to dismiss the indictment. By dismissing the indictment, that means that while they are today felons who are deemed to have served their entire sentence, now they won't. If the success of this motion means they're not considered felons anymore, so they can vote. They can buy guns. That's the real key thing, right? Is the Second Amendment rights, right?
Yeah,
so
I agree.
If you're a felon, you can't get firearms. The commuted sentence, you cannot get firearms. These people were not able to get firearms a week ago, but today they can. At approximately 2:40 p.m., he wants to go into like how horrific January 6th was. On January 6th, at the U.S. Capitol descended into chaos. Defendant Edward Vallejo was in Arlington, Virginia, at a hotel watching the events unfold on television. Less than 2 hours prior, a joint session of Congress had convened to certify the results of the 2020 presidential election. But by 2:40 p.m., the Capitol had come under siege by an angry mob of thousands of President Trump's supporters. The joint session was suspended. Members of Congress and staff went into hiding. Vallejo was no dispassionate observer. His task that day was to serve as the Quick Reaction Force, or QRF, for the Oath Keepers. Vallejo had at the ready a large collection of firearms. The various Oath Keepers had transported to the outskirts of the district. One witness described the largest cache of weapons he had seen since serving in the military. The firearms had a purpose, and they're not at the Capitol. They're not at. Anyway, so he goes on and on here. I don't really, he's basically trying to portray just how terrible these people were. That, and he says, anticipating pursuit by law enforcement as they fled the district, the Oath Keepers began disposing of incriminating evidence. Rhodes instructed some, you all need to delete any of your comments regarding who did what. Delete your self-incriminating comments or those that can incriminate others. One member told another, we need to make sure that the signal comms about the op have been deleted and burned. Some group members did just that. They discarded phones, deleted messages, applications, etc. So they were trying to basically flee when DOJ was coming after them. And they eventually charged dozens of Oath Keepers with various crimes related to January 6th. And we're talking about these 9 people. Rhodes, Meggs, Watkins, Harrelson, Caldwell, Menuda, Hackett, Morshaw, and Vallejo. And here are the different crimes that they got charged with. Again, this is a judge who has a bug up his shorts about January 6th because he thinks that Trump could theoretically have faced penalties for incitement in something that's just shocking the conscience. Anyway, on January 20th, 2025, the first day of his second term in office, President Trump issued a proclamation titled Granting Pardons and Commutations of Sentences for Certain Offenses Related to Events at or near the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. And the proclamation pardoned all persons convicted of J6 related offenses except 14 named individuals. Among them were the 9 defendants in this matter. President Trump commuted their sentences to time served. The commutation, however, did not impact their convictions. Those stayed in place. They're still considered felons. Meanwhile, defendants' appeals remained pending for years, the result of multiple continuances without the submission of an opening brief. On April 14, 2026, on the eve of his last filing deadline, the government moved to vacate defendants' convictions under 28 U.S.C. 2106. So it's the government that came and said, we want this vacated, wash away those convictions. And remand the case that the government may move to dismiss the indictment with prejudice under Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 48A. This went, I'll tell you right now, April 14, 2026 was a day that pissed the hell out of Judge Mehta. It did. No, it totally did. He was mad.
I love a mad judge recently because all of these are bad actors. It's so bad. Good. Make them mad.
Finding without elaboration that vacate of defendant's convictions was just under the circumstances. The D.C. Circuit Court granted the motion on May 21st, 2026, remanded the case the same day. So the case was basically put back on in order for him to come back before Judge Mehta for him to vacate. Back before his court, the government moved on May 22nd to dismiss the indictment pursuant to Rule 48. The government's 2-page filing said little more than the government has determined in its prosecutorial discretion that dismissal of this criminal case is in the interest of justice. So we think that's what should happen. I didn't like that. I wasn't satisfied with that bare bone. You got to give me more than that. So I issued an order on May 29th. Give me 2 pages just saying you think it's the interest of justice. I had a whole freaking trial where I had these people convicted. The freaking J6 defendants, they were like the orchestrators of everything. You want to tell me now you think it's the interest of justice? What the F is going on here? You just want to say, well, we think it's the interest of justice. I had like a weeks-long trial with these people, and I got these convictions, and I was popping champagne. And now you tell me that not only are they commuted and have like almost no time served compared to what they were supposed to serve, the decades they were supposed to spend in jail, now you want to wash it away like it never happened and tell me that that's all fine? That's what Judge Mehta was writing here. So he deferred ruling on the government's request and still received additional information. I was like, you got to give me more than that. No, you got to give me more.
What do you mean? I got to give you more?
That's what he told the government. You got to give me more. It's not enough. And I had case law for that. I said, I can't, based on this United States versus Amadown, I can't be content with just a conclusory statement by the prosecutor that's best interest of judgment. You got to give me, without having some sort of underlying facts as to why this is this is what it needs to happen. Oh no. The government supplemented the motion on June 18th. That filing detailed the long procedural history of the case. The government expressed the government's view of the proper standard of review and offered various grounds for the government's decision to seek dismissal. Defendant Menudo also filed a response to the court's order, and no defendant opposes the government's request for dismissal, obviously, because it's bailing their asses out.
Yeah.
The court starts with the applicable legal standard, which is basically under Rule 48, the government may, with leave of the court, dismiss an indictment. The Supreme Court has observed that leave of the court requirement obviously vests some discretion, that the judge could do something. So too has the DC Circuit. That's what the Supreme Court and the DC Circuit said, I have some discretion here. But the scope of that role is not well defined. What is my role here? Can I just tell the government, go jump in a lake? I'm not dismissing this. In Rinaldi, the court said that the principal object of the leave of the court requirement is apparently to protect the defendant against prosecutorial harassment, charging, dismissing, and recharging. So if I think that the government is just trying to do this so they can, be a pain in the defendant's ass, that would be a basis for me to step in.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I got no role here. And I can't in good conscience say that that's what the Trump DOJ is trying to do here. They're obviously not looking to harass defendants.
No, of course not.
So if it's not to harass them, I don't have any role here. And that's why he ends up and the only thing I can do is basically consent to their requests. In Fokker,
he's so not happy.
Yes. This guy's so bitter. In Fokker, a case which Judge Mehta kept bringing up over and over and over again when he first heard about this application, Fokker. The DC Circuit Court observed that decisions to dismiss pending criminal charges, no less than decisions to initiate charges and identify which charges bring, lie squarely within the ken of prosecutorial discretion, meaning the exclusive domain of the prosecutors. Who gets charged, whether they stay charged. The only one who weighs in on that at all is the prosecutor. The court has no role there. The court, citing Rinaldi, wrote that a court thus reviews the prosecution's motion on the Rule 48A primarily to guard against the prospect that dismissal is part of some scheme to harass the defendants. But if it's not a scheme, I had no say here. I have to go along with what the government's asking. Anyway, so moving along here, we're going to bring out to his close here, because I don't really care about the rest of his stupid musings. But
his musings have been great, though. He's so pissed.
He's so angry.
You can read the venom in it. Like, I need more than this. Lump it, buddy. I don't know what to tell you, guy.
Well, and its final reason, the government posits that the public interest in the trial of these defendants is already fully vested. Government observes that there were 2 public trials resulting in over 15,000 pages of transcripts, over 700-minute exhibits, and sentencing transcripts for all 8 defendants totaling more than 1,000 pages. What's more, there was routine media coverage of these proceedings. The government concludes dismissalist cases with prejudice will not erase the public record. That position is surprising. The government is ordinarily of the view that accountability, not mere publicity, is what's in the public interest. That justice is achieved when a group of 12 people with no interest in the case's outcome and no perceived notion of the facts decides whether a defendant, meaning the jury, whether the defendant is guilty of the charged conduct based on the law and the evidence. The government is right that dismissal will not erase the public record. It will, however, erase the legal judgments that these defendants broke the criminal law, and not just any criminal law. Laws aimed at punishing those who conspired to commit extra-legal violence to prevent the execution of the laws or carrying out official duties. Ultimately, though, the judicial officer's mere difference, this judicial officer, meaning yours truly, This judicial officer's mere difference of opinion is of no moment. Courts lack the authority to deny a prosecutor's Rule 48A motion to dismiss charges based on a disagreement with prosecution's exercise of its charging authority. The court does strongly disagree, but that alone is not a valid basis to deny the motion. The court must give way to the primacy of the executive branch in making charging decisions. They're the only ones who have a role. I can't do anything but just say, okay, you tell me where to jump in this. I have to say how high. And importantly, the court has no evidence. It's shocking that this judge actually has the wherewithal to admit the limitations of his power, because most of these federal judges have absolutely no idea that there's a limitation on their power.
Yeah, they always overreach.
Yeah.
In an astonishing fashion, they overreach, and then nobody does anything. I'm always sitting there going, well, you're not allowed to do that. And everybody's, well, I'm not, he's not. With all right, then you're going to do something, right? Well, no, I'm not going to do anything. But yeah, you're right. He's not supposed to do that. It's annoying. So that's refreshing.
And importantly, the court has no evidence before it to question whether the prosecutors here have properly discharged their official duties. If it's their view that the public interest is served by surrendering convictions for crimes against the country to the gloss of an enduring public record, then that's an assessment to which this court must yield. I have no say. This is the last of the prosecutions seeking to hold accountable those responsible for the events of January 6th. This is it. There's no one else. It's just these defendants. They're the only ones who have any sort of criminal record from this. No one else does. That book is now closed.
Oh, no.
Goodbye. Today's epilogue diminishes the gravity of that day, denigrates the work of the prosecutors and law enforcement officers, which cannot possibly be denigrated enough, who secured these convictions, and excuses criminal acts that caused a centuries-long pillar of our democracy, the peaceful transfer of presidential power, to buckle. The court cannot write a different ending. For the foregoing reasons, the government's motion to dismiss indictment ECF 967 and judgment in ECF 979 are granted. The superseding indictment is hereby dismissed with prejudice.
Oof.
So angry.
There we go.
He's so angry, this guy.
Yeah. He's disgusted because he got everything he wanted for the left. He had everybody tied up, wrapped up. They're gone. All these agitators and enemies of the state, they're locked away for decades. And then, they chipped away at that. And he's like, well, at least I've got these guys. And now they've said, nah, you ain't even got these guys. So
you got nothing.
You got nothing. You wasted. Think about all that time and research and trials and everything. All those days away that you wasted for nothing. Just for political moves, for political reasons.
Yes.
You knew this. None of these judges are dumb enough to not realize what they're doing. There's no way. It's always, always, always beneficial to them in some shape, form, or fashion nowadays.
They thought they would have this narrative to sell out there forever.
Yeah. Look at these traitors against America that we can now, march out and show just how disgusting it is. They try to steal our democracy from us, and now they don't have any of it. It's done. And if you did start trying to march those people out and start discussing them in a bad way, well, now they got grounds for defamation, buddy. So have fun doing that. You can't really say anything.
They're not felons.
No.
There's no felonies that happen on J6.
Boy, oh boy. Big mad. Big mad, big sad judge.
So angry. So bitter. Duckfest says, Joe, do you have a name for this song? If not, I have a proposition. There's a name, but I don't want to share it yet. There's a name. I don't want to share it yet. I'll share. I'm working my way there. I have one more story to cover, and then we're going to get to the song. So, but yeah. And we'll probably have to review this song afterwards.
Sure.
We'll play it once.
Play it through.
And then if you have questions or comments about particular parts that you want to review,
then we could review it with the audience. I've got that. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's the thought process, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want you to ruin it in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to pause it in the middle.
And then you want to absorb.
Let it play. Yeah. Let it play.
Yeah, marinate in it, they would say.
Marinate. Yeah. Yes.
Gotcha.
Marinate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I understand.
Hey, Joe and Sin, take my pittance, please. There you go. 50 cents for you.
Thank you so much, Tammy. Good to see you, Tammy.
Sin, you know he's going to send you a 1099. Yes.
I already know that. Yeah, I've already.
That's totally happening. If you take a pardon, you cannot appeal convictions. Convictions go away.
Yeah.
So the women Congress critters do the same. Look at women teachers. They get a little power, then want to get some. This is true. This is true. Everyone assumes that women are all just, that they're all above board. It's just not the case. The same way people tend to forget that, like I think 20% of domestic violence is committed by women.
Yeah, a good amount of it.
Yeah, there's a significant percentage. I totally made that number up, but I think I heard that a long time.
We get hit in this house, is what they say around here. Way to go, Joe.
My wife has never hit me. So
good.
Just saying.
Okay.
I
believe you.
I'm standing up in her honor. I'm standing up for her honor.
Got you. I understand.
She's never hit me. Never even took a swing. Except with her words.
Many black and bloodied eyes with her words.
So hurtful. Can't hear it anymore. All right, so final story. Finally tonight, there's been a lot of drama that's been going on inside the Trump administration, in particular between Donald Trump and Jeanine Pirro.
Really?
You didn't know about this, right?
No, the only thing I saw today was Trump tried to push a kid off a stage or something, I think is what the left would say. He saved a little kid from running off of a stage.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was very wholesome.
Well, that's nice. Well, yeah, this is over the reflecting pool.
Oh, God. I haven't even looked into the reflecting pool in a minute. Is it still?
Inside Trump's tense meeting with Jeanine Pirro. President Donald Trump laid into U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro at a White House meeting Monday evening over a court filing that blamed the reflecting pool damage on shoddy workmanship rather than vandalism, according to the two people familiar with the intense discussion. The seemingly botched reflecting pool renovation and subsequent vandalism charges have created a deep divide between Pirro and Interior Secretary Doug Burgum, who was also at the meeting because he oversaw the renovations.
Get over
he's
it,
the one.
Jeanine.
He's the one who's like responsible for it being done competently. So the question is, are the problems with the pool a reflection of incompetence in the design and the workmanship, or is it vandalism? If it's vandalism, then heads should be rolling. If it's the workmanship, then that's egg on the face of Trump and more directly Doug Burgum. While Trump has privately lambasted Pirro, he stopped short of firing her, asking for resignation on Monday, sources told CNN. The D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office late last week decided to drop the case that accused an ex-Olympian of ripping up some of the pool lining, with Pirro's prosecutors saying in court they believed they had been misled by the Interior Department until recent days, when Burgum's staff finally turned over records showing the pool had significant damage long before Olympic canoeist David Hearn visited the pool, according to court records. So they charged this canoeist with damaging the pool.
Okay.
And then when they went to the records, they saw that there were problems with the pool before David Hearn showed up there.
Also, okay.
So she dropped the charges against David Hearn. She had charged him with vandalism of the pool, dropped the charges. This was a whole big thing where it's like, in fact, I think it was J.D. Vance, or maybe it was Todd Blanche, who was being mocked on CNN, where they were asking, well, seeing as how he was wrongfully, remember how they had the 1776 anti-weaponization fund?
Yeah.
For people who were wrongfully abused by the DOJ. So it was Todd Blanche, I think, who was asked, is David Hearn eligible for money since he was harassed by the Trump DOJ and then they dropped the charges? And that was a way of sort of mocking Todd Blanche. It was a sharp question. Now, the 1776 fund yesterday was officially dissolved. It's not a thing anymore. But this definitely was something that the evil leftists are all relishing, that he was charged and then the charges were dropped by Jeanine Pirro. And so this is chip paint and algae visible on the Lincoln Memorial. Privately, Pirro has blasted Burgum staff to senior aides in the West Wing and put the blame squarely on Interior for failing to arm her with evidence before she presented the case that exposed the case was not prosecutable, according to people familiar with the matter. Pirro arrived at the White House with boxes of evidence to back her claims that the damage of the reflecting pool was caused by shoddy workmanship, not vandalism, according to another person with knowledge of the meeting. I don't know if this is true. This is CNN reporting. So they're all claiming that this is what, and I want to be clear about this. This is a CNN report. So definitely take everything they're saying here with a salt shaker full of salt. The charges were dropped against David Hearn. We don't know if that's because the damage was done by other vandals before Hearn got there, which is almost, it's very likely the case that he was not the first vandal. There are multiple people who are thought to be engaging in vandalism. We don't know that we can identify them, if the cameras are able to identify them sufficiently that they'll ever be caught. But that, to say that this is certainly the result of shoddy workmanship rather than vandalism does seem premature unless you have evidence that there was actual shoddy workmanship.
Yeah.
Pirro herself made the call to drop the case and also preemptively discussed her plans to dismiss it with officials in both the Justice Department and the White House. People familiar with the inner workings of the U.S. Attorney's Office told CNN her office declined to comment. The decision put the Interior Department on the defensive and irritated Burgum and his team, who believed that explicitly blaming the department in the legal filing was unnecessarily antagonistic, one of the people familiar with the dynamics said. They also questioned why Pirro did not first seek to address her concerns in private, arguing she instead chose to blindside Trump and other top officials by publicly airing the case's shortcomings. That person added that the president has been increasingly sensitive to any criticism around the reflecting pool, given his personal investment in the project that he views partly as a referendum on his own skill as a developer. The White House Interior Department did not respond to requests for comment. Trump's frustration towards Pirro was palpable Monday night during his meeting, where Trump yelled at Pirro and read her the riot act, according to two sources briefed on the meeting. While White House officials said that Pirro was still on thin ice, multiple sources familiar with the relationship said that they believe Pirro is safe for now, citing her years-long relationship with Trump. Quote, "It would be hard for him to fire her. He likes her, and he's not the same impulsive guy he was during his first term," one of the sources said, while still noting that anything can happen. Trump on Tuesday doubled down on his criticism of Pirro, saying he believes she's totally wrong over handling the case, while declining to say whether she will remain in the role. So, asked whether Pirro will remain U.S. Attorney, Trump declined to comment either way. "I haven't made a determination," he said. Anyhow, yeah, so this is a case there's definitely caused some friction. Would you like to see some video of Trump on this?
I would love to see that, because this is, so they vacated the conviction, or
they dropped
the charges.
Really? Yeah.
But I mean, both could be true. The guy could have damaged it, and it could have already been damaged.
Yeah. Yeah. Which it seems as if he was trying to damage it further. Like he saw some damage. It's almost like, like sometimes when you see paint peeling, right?
Yeah.
So there's a little corner of paint peeling, and you could just let it go and or snip that part off and then paint over it.
Yeah.
Or you can just yank it off. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when I was a kid, my family had like I think it was a Firebird or a Camaro. I forget. I was a little bitty kid, and in the back seat it had those old plastic covers on like the sides of the seats. It was like little plastic corner pieces, and they had been scratched. And as a little kid, I scratched it more. My mom didn't look back there and go, "Well, it was already scratched." She got on to me and said, "Don't do that." And I said the thing, "Well, it's already scratched." She's like, "Yeah, that doesn't mean you mess it up even more." It's the same thing.
There is a notion of the broken window theory also.
Yeah.
Which is that if you have a community where there's like an apartment building, there are multiple apartment buildings which have numerous broken windows, more windows will break in the area because people they sense the neglect.
Yeah, they think you can get away with it.
Right, exactly. So, in fact, when Giuliani was fixing New York City, which he did a remarkable job doing that when he was mayor from 1993 to 2001, he was very much into cleaning up the graffiti and giving an overall feel of a city that's not neglected. And that was a major part of what he was doing to try and revitalize New York City. And he did it very effectively.
Yeah.
So all the video, if you ever see video of or old movies where you see New York City subways have graffiti on them, none of those are from the 90s. They're all from the 80s, especially the 70s. They're all from that time period because that was all cleaned up in 1990. I can't attest to it now. I don't really take the subway that much. I don't remember seeing much graffiti, but it's all into the same thinking. So in fact, they say that he definitely was reaching into the pool and he said he was trying to see something, whatever. He almost definitely saw something sticking up and was trying to pull it. That's probably what happened. He's trying to pull it further.
Yeah, I would have just left it alone. It doesn't change it from still being a national monument. If I was walking by it and I saw that floating in it, I would have just went, I'm probably going to leave that there. Yeah. Maybe my laziness saves me from a lot of federal crimes.
He's a lunatic leftist, the guy.
Yeah.
So he certainly probably was very excited when he saw whatever damage was there. But he probably was not the first one to create damage. Here's Trump.
Disappointed with Jeanine Pirro. Really disappointed with Jeanine Pirro. She folded like an umbrella.
Spoken to Jeanine Pirro about her decision to drop her.
No, Jeanine Pirro made a mistake. It was vandalism. One of the biggest was the reflecting pool. And we did a great job. Now, we have photographs or tapes, like moving cameras, right? We have them where people are on the side cutting it with a box knife. It's a little hard to say who it exactly was, but it was people cutting this very expensive material, waterproofing material. Anyway, it looked beautiful. And then they cut it and they vandalized. And we weren't necessarily thrilled with the contractor, but they did a job and they were fixing any problems. But then it got carried away because the judge was extremely unfriendly to Jeanine. And frankly, I think she choked because the judge was really vicious. Instead of going after the people that did it, the judge went after her and went after her department. And I guess she choked. I don't know what the hell happened.
So obviously some very aggressive language there from Trump, where he's very upset with her for the way she handled this case. So, but if you ask me my thoughts on it,
I think so.
If you ask me my thoughts on it, to be fair, like to all parties concerned here, I think there's a very, very high chance that there was vandalism. I think there's a very high chance David Hearn was not the first one to engage in vandalism. He's just the person who got busted doing it. Now that makes for a tough case, because if you don't really catch him actually doing something brazenly and notoriously aggressive towards destroying the reflecting pool, in that case, and there's damage that's there beforehand, which is what his story was, that he saw damage and was curious about it. So that puts Jeanine Pirro in a very difficult position to establish that he's the one who caused the damage. So I don't know whether or not there was, I don't know what the heck was, the evidence is that she supposedly looked at that said that it was shoddy workmanship. But I think this clip I have here, I think this is the one which has a bunch of CNN people all very excited about this topic. I'm only sharing this with you at the end because I'm about to share with you the funniest song you ever heard. So I don't like depressing my audience.
I got you.
these charges, but really the fact that she had laid out so clearly these details of how it was vandalism. It was not vandalism. It was shoddy workmanship instead of vandalism. That blindsided both the White House and the Department of Interior, and you're cast on each side here.
Yes. I didn't do that. Go back. Let's hear it from the beginning.
Well, Casey, what we've heard is that it was explosive at times, incredibly heated at others. One source telling us that President Trump read Jeanine Pirro the Riot Act. Another one saying that he laid into her during this meeting. And
that's the video I want you to see. That's supposedly Jeanine Pirro going to meet Trump and bringing boxes of evidence that CNN is going to claim is all the evidence that there was shoddy workmanship here. That's what they're claiming it is. So I don't know if that's what it is, but that she's, supporting her decision to dismiss the charges against Hearn by basically bringing these boxes into Trump, because she knew he was furious at her.
Increasingly clear is the fact that this has really created a huge divide between Jeanine Pirro and her office and that of the Department of Interior and Doug Burgum, the secretary, who was also in that meeting. And I do want to say that picture that you just showed of her wheeling out those boxes, we are told that she arrived at the White House for that meeting knowing President Trump was angry and that she brought her own receipts, that this is the evidence in these bags that she says backs up her claims that it was shoddy workmanship that led to what happened at the reflecting pool. I
don't know that she says that, or it's a matter of this is all the stuff related to the case and why she thought it was such a difficult case to proceed with, and that, it warranted dropping the charges.
Vandalism. Now, President Trump has been angry at her publicly. He's been angry at her privately. We obviously just reported what he did in that meeting, but he did stop short of actually asking her to resign or of actually firing her. And a lot of sources who are close to both of them that know the relationship, they say that her job is likely safe for now. They look at this years-long friendship, but this isn't going away. And this divide between these two agencies is not going to get any smaller.
Look at her so excited about that.
One side, you have the Department of Interior, who feels like they were blindsided.
Dissent within the ranks. We got them, boys.
We know that Caitlin will report this as well, that Pirro had briefed members at Department of Interior that this was coming, that they were going to drop these charges. But really the fact that she had laid out so clearly these details of how it was vandalism. It was not vandalism. It was shoddy workmanship instead of vandalism. That blindsided both the White House and the Department of Interior. And you're seeing a lot of blame being cast on each side here.
And I do think that she did claim that there was shoddy workmanship, and she didn't have to do that. She could have just withdrawn the charges and said, we think that there was damage done before he got there.
Yeah, that's all she had to do.
That's all she had. Yeah.
Do we think there was something before? She may have just wanted to rub Trump's nose in this situation because of anything going on before all this? Because
it seems unlikely. It really seems unlikely.
So she's just stupid.
It seems like a stupid mistake.
She has no political savvy whatsoever.
Yes.
All right.
And that's what I got. That's what I got for you. And she should, by the way, because she's got a history as being Judge Judy. She's been dealing with this celebrityness for a long time. She should have done better, I think. I understand why Trump is pissed off. I'm not saying he's right in the fact that David Hearn should be the one who should face consequences, and perhaps she pushed that a little bit too aggressively on David Hearn specifically, because she's like, this is one of the vandals, let's go get him. But this was not a great moment, and it probably is some stress there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, that's what I got for you tonight. I thank you all for joining me.
Yeah, that's it. Just end the show, right? Let's do this. Woo! Guys, don't eat bugs and stuff, okay? Remember that. Right. Lab meats and things where you and them and everything's, don't worry, the whole country's fine. It's fine. Nothing bad's going on whatsoever. See you next week. Bye.
Thank you all for joining us. All right.
No, we're not going anywhere.
All right, here we go. So I've become a little bit enamored with Suno and creating songs. It's really fun.
It's a free program, huh?
No. I gotta pay for this. I've thought about doing the video. The video is really expensive. Like it adds up very fast. It adds up
video
really
on Grok.
fast.
You got Twitter Blue.
Grok does 10 seconds at a time. So
Yeah,
you have a 5-minute song. It's like and then they get it wrong. You have to recreate the 10 seconds, and then you don't have, you have continuity issues.
We do all of ours in Grok. They work great. I don't know if you're just complaining.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Anyway, I tried doing Grok. You want me to show you? I can even show you a little clip of what Grok did for me when I was trying to turn my intro into something workable.
Mm-hmm.
I can share that with you. So if I can find it, did I download it?
Yeah, we use Grok for all of ours. Like I said, I got a production gal that does most of our. Actually, I think she's done all of our intro videos that are made by us. That are like that. That are clearly AI throughout.
Right.
Somebody said, you love free stuff. No, the voices, they're so bad.
It's so terrible. Yeah. They're just really terrible. Yeah. Anyway. Whatever.
Right.
I'm not going to deal with that.
I mean, we hit the goal. Like
we hit the goal, so let's do the song.
2 times over.
I created a song for Sin, Sin's theme song, which I think is very fun. So without further ado, I actually added the lyrics. This way you can actually read along.
Yeah.
So some of the singing is actually muffling the lyrics a little bit here, but yeah. The name of the song is Mighty White of You.
Mighty White of You. All right.
As soon as I thought of the title, I was like,
yeah,
this is perfect. This is perfect. This is
I got it. Yeah.
This is perfect for Sin.
I appreciate it. Well, let's hear it.
Mighty White of You.
Already.
Yeah. People say I'm a jerk, I don't understand. I'm one of the nicest folks in this land. I use the N-word, it's true, but only when I really have to. I always say no offense before I say something rude. So explain to me, what did I do? Mighty white of you, I always flush when I go number 2. Mighty white of you, if you sneeze and you're Christian, I'll say bless you.
Yeah.
Mighty white of you, I hardly say a thing.
Yeah, me.
When Joe acts like a Jew, I only use the handicapped face if I'm in and out in 3 minutes straight. Abandon my shopping cart like it's one of those people's babies at the Quickie Mart. I don't need it to dent up some nice new car. I aim for the corral and I push real hard. I hang up my phone before the movie starts. I don't take off my boots when the theater gets dark. That's 6 examples.
6 examples.
Off the top of my head.
Good God.
Mighty white of you. I always flush when I go number 2.
Why is that the chorus?
Christian, I'll say bless you. Mighty white of you. I hardly say a thing when Joe acts like a Jew. I never tried playing the race card. I won't throw garbage into your backyard. If we play for money, I won't cheat at cards. I won't hardly stare at a funny funny looking retard. Hey, that's just wrong. But midgets, it's like not a fair test. Mighty wide of you. I always flush when I go number 2. Mighty wide of you. If you're sneezing, you're Christian. I'll say bless you. When the Indian cashier says, have a nice day, I'll sometimes smile back and say, okay. I have lots of black friends. Well, just one, but he don't live near me. I try call, but I would never reach. He lost his Obama phone years ago.
Oh my God.
So if I rang, he wouldn't know. Worst of all, I'd freak him with drama. He'd see a strange number and think, baby mama. But he's a real person. Very real. Mighty wide of you. I swear, some people just can't be pleased. Like the Jews.
You know what? I don't have any questions. I think you nailed it. That's you pretty much nailed every aspect of my person in that.
Oh my God.
That's pretty racist, Joe.
It wasn't racist at all. Our point was that you're not racist.
Uh-huh. Wow.
That was my point.
Wow.
I told you, I kept laughing while I was writing it.
I just don't. My one question is, I don't understand the chorus. What does that have to be? What does that have to do with being white?
No. Okay. All right.
That part, I was like, okay. I hope everyone does.
This works on so many levels.
Gotcha.
Okay.
There's layers.
It's actually, there really are. I know you think I'm kidding. I'm really not.
Uh-huh.
You know the phrase "mighty white of you," right?
Yeah. I use it all the time.
So what inspired me was when I was posting about I was posting on Locals that I pre-planned. I scheduled my post for when it was going to go live. Went live at 11 this morning, from private to live. So I scheduled a post about 11 o'clock saying this just went live, and then I was going to say, if you enjoy the song and you can share and comment on it, that'd be mighty white of you. And then I was like, yeah, it's kind of a racist sort of borderline racist type of thing.
A little bit.
And that made me think of you. Because it's like borderline. Is it not? I don't know.
Racist,
I don't know.
Racist?
Right. So then I was thinking about the whole phrase "mighty white of you" and just how it's an amazing phrase because it's so like. Is it saying that whites are particularly special? Is that what the point is, or is it like you're in the clear, you're in the white? It's like it's very amorphous. It really can go either way. But it could be deemed as being sort of racist, and yet it definitely has plausible deniability behind it. So the point of the song was you basically doing all these things which are just basic common decency, and like looking at it as like, oh, that's mighty white of you that you do that. like returning the cart to the corral, but you don't even like really do that. Like you just aim for the corral and push really hard. Like,
yeah, that's what I do. Exactly. Well, I'm trying to see if I can ring another cart that's in there. Usually, it's a contest.
Right. It's a little thing like that. Right.
Yeah.
So, or that like that if someone sneezes, if they're Christian, you'll say bless you. Like, or that like when the cashier, like you're nice to the Indian cashier, that when he says have a nice day, you say okay to him rather than just ignore it. You could ignore him.
I could.
But you sometimes will turn and smile and say, okay. To me, like and that's why I was like, like that if you're doing serious business in the toilet, you flush.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's mighty white of you.
It's mighty white of you, Joe. You're right. It was a great song. It was fantastic. You did a good job.
Thank you. I knew that you would laugh multiple times. I'm sure anyone who knows you and me at all, who heard that song, had at least 3 laughs. I was like, this one's funny.
I think you nailed it. I think 3 laughs is right on the button. Yeah.
I was like I only use the N word when I really need to. It's like you say it all the time. You know, you'll say no offense before you get really rude.
I don't mean any offense to this, but you're kind of being an N-word right now, okay? All right, that's not mighty white of you.
Only using the handicap space for 3-minute stops. You know, that's. And then there's these little things I sort of had baked into there, like never abandoning my shopping cart, like those people's babies at the Quickie Mart. Who are those people? There's so many tiny little things like that hidden in there. Like, who are those people? And I was just I was giggling a lot when I was.
I think so. Yeah. No, I was giggling a good bit. It's very funny. You did a great job, really pointing out the character of Whitey. You know.
Right.
And, yeah.
And it's almost a little bit racist to assume that only a white person would flush when they they drop logs, but that's a very racist. It's a pretty racist thing to say.
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but not realizing that could be taken as being racist. So
a little bit.
Anyway,
good job, Joe.
I think that was worth 300. That was worth the 300. So. It was right. I mean, I think it was worth it.
Yeah, I think you did a great job. I think it was very worth it. Somebody says play it again. Jack Reeves Viking Hotep said play it again.
It's never gonna be as funny the second time.
That's true.
It's never gonna be. So it's almost like a magician doesn't do a trick twice.
Yeah, that's true.
So
you don't encore the same song.
Yeah, it's like we just heard. You just heard this 2 seconds ago. It's never nearly as good. It's like if you haven't had. What's your favorite candy bar?
Oh, Three Musketeers.
So if you haven't had Three Musketeers in 6 months, then you have one. You're just like, that's amazing. Wow, I really love these Three Musketeers. And then and then someone comes 5 minutes later and gives you a second one. You just sort of
I just had one. Yeah.
You're like, no, it's really good. I love it. Yeah. It's really good, but it's just that's actually called the law of diminishing returns.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's what economists call that law of diminishing returns. So anyway, if there was a part you wanted me to review in case you didn't understand certain parts.
Yeah, I got every one of them. As you started playing the song, I went, oh, okay, I see what he's doing.
Trying to explain to ChatGPT what I wanted, because I wanted different examples from them. Trying to explain to them, and I was just like, all right, just stop. You suck at this.
You're not good at this. Yeah.
You're so bad at this. And then but it helped spur certain thoughts of mine. That's why the very subtle thing, for example, of
if you sneeze and you're Christian, I'll say bless you.
Only if you're Christian. The qualifier there, if you sneeze and you're Christian, I'll say bless
you. Well,
otherwise, to hell with you. I'm not gonna
say
bless
why am I
you.
gonna do that?
Why do I
I'm
say
not
bless
gonna
you?
do that. That's a waste of my time.
Yeah, exactly.
My Christian Jesus isn't going to bless your sneeze.
Exactly. That's why it's the bless you. It's not something else. It's not not good morning. It's the bless you is leaning into the whole religion element to it. So yeah. Anyhow, you can use it if you want. If you feel as if you need something that will help explain you to people.
I appreciate it, Joe. Thank you for the rights to use that song. If I need to explain my whiteness or how I do things in my day-to-day life.
Yeah. Well, I realized after I created it that if I don't have lyrics, if you can't read the lyrics along with it, you're gonna miss half the lines.
Yeah, you definitely need the captions. I agree.
Although this was actually, I thought I might have been taking a little bit of generous in my assessment of you and saying that if you're playing cards for money, you won't cheat.
Of course I'm not going to cheat.
Implying obviously that if you're not playing for money, you totally will cheat.
In a heartbeat. Why not?
And that's why the bridge part of the song. I'll play that again.
Yeah, let's do it.
The bridge part of the song is actually probably my favorite part of the song.
never try playing the race card. I won't throw garbage into your backyard. If we play for money, I won't cheat at cards. I won't hardly stare at a funny looking retard. Hey, that's just wrong.
That's just wrong. I'm not staring at the funny looking retard. It's funny. Like when I came up with that. So ChatGPT is like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't use the word retard. I'm like, no. Yeah. The point of the joke is that he's calling them retards. That's the whole point. That he's thinking it, but he's not staring. He's proud of himself and us. That's the whole. If you don't say retard, there's no joke. This is ChatGPT just doesn't.
It doesn't get it. It has to be 2PC.
Right.
It doesn't want you to have jokes.
Yeah, like maybe that's people will find that hurtful. That's like I don't think you should do that, Joe. I think people will find that hurtful.
Well, you should listen to the whole song then, ChatGPT. Huh? How do you think white people feel being characterized like this?
And I added in the other part on my further revisions. I added in the other part after the retard.
I won't hardly stare at a funny looking retard. Hey, that's just wrong. But midgets. It's like not a fair test.
I'm sure you stare at midgets.
Of course, they creep me out. I'm not a tall man,
how far away are the midgets?
Oh,
I need to assess safety levels. It's a precautionary type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a tall man. I had one ask me to get a game down for him at a GameStop one time, and I looked at him. I was like, "What are we gonna do? What are you and me gonna do? Climb on each other's shoulders? Get out of here, you freak!"
All right, so there you go.
It was a fantastic show.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought you were
overselling
it, to be honest with you. I was like, I think he might be overselling it in the beginning, but no, I think you nailed it.
I know when it's funny. I know when it's like sort of so. I have a general feel for that.
Yeah,
but,
you're gonna be presenting that to.
I wouldn't have said it. I wouldn't have said it. So I'm definitely not sharing that with family. But
why not?
What?
What's wrong, Joe? Why not? Why aren't you sharing that one, huh? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with it?
Actually, I think Lady Lawgic would like that one. I think she would. I think she would like that one. She's actually she's a very good barometer for when a song is funny. She's actually a really good barometer. But I'm proud that you didn't. The key thing is I knew I was going to sell it hard when I came in here tonight, and I'm very proud of the fact that I was like that after the result comes in, that people feel like I lived up to my word. So that's all I was looking for. I didn't oversell it. But all right, so that's our show for tonight. I think we're good, right?
Yeah, I think we had a great show, man. Thank you so much.
We
Fun chat. Good job, guys. We had 2 times over, by the way, without
we met the goal 2 times over. You have a final number there?
It was 600 on the dot without the 300 that was given on locals.
600 plus 300?
Yeah. I did not add the 300 that was given on locals by JH.
Oh, because we had the 305 from him.
Just everything that you read out from Rumble and from YouTube or from Super Chats. It was 600 on the dot, on the nose. Yeah.
Good on you, chat. You guys held up. You did your end. I did my end. This is how we have a healthy relationship between us. I'm going to remind you with that. It was a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
Where can people find you, brother?
FFScast. Also, I'm really pushing my Twitter at Ambient Aristotle, trying to get to 1,300 followers on Twitter. So FFScast every Friday through Monday we do a show, and tomorrow I'm doing a show about Fauci by myself.
If you give me your links, I will.
Oh, are they not in the thing like you? Okay, I figured you'd saved them by now. I'll grab them. You know, it's okay.
Well, now you give me Ambient Aristotle. I don't know what the hell that is.
That is my original one. So remember a while back I lost my Twitter account, right?
Mm-hmm.
And well, they finally just randomly gave it back to me. They never said why I got banned. They never gave me any reason whatsoever. And then one day I just logged in and it took me right to it.
I had good logic.
Mm-hmm.
When my kids were in the dating world and trying to find like spouses, my wife made me abandon it.
Really?
This dude took it and said, I'm holding on to it for you, Joe. Whenever you want it back, I'll give it to you. after my kids got married, I went to him and I was like, give it back. And they were like, no. And like, I couldn't ever hear from him. I couldn't find this guy.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, X is like, if you think that a handle belongs to you, let us know and we'll give it. And if we agree, we'll give it to you.
Yeah.
So I did that. I was like, give me back my good Lawgic. And I was like, I am good Lawgic. Give me back my good Lawgic. And they gave it back to me. And I had it for like 3 months. And all of a sudden, one day I wake up and I was back at the Following Pro. And I'm like, what the hell happened? Why did you take it back away from me? I didn't do that. But they gave it back to the other guy. And I'm just like, this is... So I don't know if that schmuck like made a complaint that I took it from him or something, but...
Yeah, I had...
what a douchebag.
I still don't know what happened. So they gave me Twitter Blue. They verified me out of the blue. Just like, hey, by the way, you're verified. And I was like, well, did somebody gift it to you? They're like, no. Like, if you get a gift, it notifies you who did it, so you can thank them, right? So I got verified. Then 2 weeks later, or about a month later, they just sent me a thing, said you violated terms of service, and didn't give me the terms or service that I violated, nuked me. And then a month later or so, they just, like I said, I logged in and boom, there it was. I went, okay, all right, well, so I had at Stimulated Sin, which is my account that I was using then, and then I have my original one at Ambient Aristotle. So if you guys follow the at Ambient Aristotle, my goal is to get to 1,300. I'm never going to ask anybody to follow me again.
That's not true.
I'm just not. No, why would I? I'm already followed by the likes of Good Logic and Nick Rekieta and Andrew Bronca. I mean, that Star Wars girl, all kinds of people, man. Mittens, one of the biggest Twitter accounts I've ever followed, follows me randomly. It's weird.
Who's Mittens?
He used to be a memer. Now he just post pictures of like hot ladies. He used to be a very funny memer back during like the elections and stuff. So all kinds of people. I have no clue why 90% of these people follow me.
I've never seen anything you've written on
Twitter.
On Twitter to have any redeeming value.
It doesn't. No. Believe me, only once, like every 6 weeks, will I post something that is very relevant to anything.
I actually have no idea what the hell you're talking about in most of your tweets. I'm like, he's engaged in some sort of fight here, argument. I came into my feed like right before I started the show, like your recent thing, and I was just like,
yeah,
I don't even know what the hell he's talking. He's talking about
some
cartoon character, Keiho or Keijo or Kenjo or whatever.
There was a guy arguing. He was upset that somebody didn't know his comic book character, and I just started making jokes about it. It's very funny.
It was great stuff. Make sure you check it out.
Everybody, follow me, and then I'll never bug you again.
What's
I
the
will
number?
follow you back, though.
YouTube chat over 300.
It was 300 on the dot.
Right. Well, no. What was the YouTube chat? He said.
So we were at. Yeah, no, we hit 600, and I didn't mark down the different rumbles and all that stuff.
Right.
But in super chats and the rumble rants,
he's saying basically outside of you, JH, it was 600. That's what he.
It was 600 total. Yeah,
exactly. So
yeah.
So and you gave 3 so far. So yeah.
We were at
anyway.
217 with Jay Schwalbach, RJH, that is stuff, and then we got up. I didn't even, we got up to 300 and then 305. So.
All right. So I guess he'll
have to super chat 300.
No one has to do anything. No one has to do anything. Whatever generosity people want to share with the show is always genuinely greatly appreciated.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Like tonight was an amazing night. Great show, great fun,
good
chat.
I want to be crystal clear about that. So, all right. Well, I thank you all for joining me. God willing, I will see you tomorrow evening. I don't know if Jim is going to be here tomorrow. I don't think he will be. He's having all sorts of computer issues.
He's having some major computer issues. Yeah.
Yeah, he called me today and said that his very, very expensive computer that he has basically crapped out on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so if you've been missing Jim, that's why. That's why you're not seeing him, and it sucks, and I feel terrible for him. But and I hope that gets sorted in whatever issues that he had. I assume he's got warranties.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
All right. So, all right. Well, I thank you all for joining me, and he's saying go to locals.
Hey.
A man of his word.
Look at there.
God bless you, J.H. Schwalbeck.
He's the man.
He is the man. This is what he sent me there. Another $300 tip. That's the wrong horn. Looks like I'm praying for money in this little vignette that we got here.
It does. It really does.
Thank you, God. J.H. Schwalbeck, just to let you know, I always thank the drive-through clerk at the Burger King after I get my extra ketchup by saying, "That's mighty white of you." I live that life. Nice. Nice. I'm glad. I think that he enjoyed the song. So
yeah, I think so too. It was great.
Yeah,
it was really, really good, Joe. It was really, really good. You did not undersell it. I thought you were overselling it a little bit.
You were like, "You're gonna totally regret this, Joe."
Yeah,
it's like, it's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you did a good job.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Always a pleasure having you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to remind you all that lab meat was never meant for you. It's meant for they, them. I want to thank each and every one of you, my very generous supporters, in particular, obviously, JH and Brian Oldenkamp, who came out here and basically said, we're going to get that song, Joe. And I feel very, very loved by them and by each and every one of you, whether you were able to contribute towards the goal tonight or just hanging out in the chat. The chat is what makes the show. That is
the third
show.
chair, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah,
that's why people come here. If it was just me talking and there was no chat,
nobody would watch.
A lot of people would stop. They would come for like a week or two, or a month, and then they would.
It's the community. Yeah,
the community part of it is so essential, and I'm always very appreciative of those people. I understand some people have more money than others, and that's just the way the world has and always will be. But just having your time and attention is the greatest honor I can ask for. So
it's amazing.
Thank you for that. Thank you all. Make sure you stay away from lab meat. Never meant for you. It's meant for they, them. And do not eat the bugs. Good night and Godspeed.
Bye.
The plane is landing. The show is almost over. All that's left for you is this song. Joe left the studio. He's probably drinking Diet Mountain Dew. Maybe he's watching funny videos on YouTube, or playing chess, or doing Jewy things. We hope you had fun, and maybe you learned something. You hit like and you subscribe. Leave a comment if you want to show love. That would be cool. You can hate me. Leaving comments. So till next time, to stay away from lab meat. It's meant for them man sparkle hugs, and most importantly, do not eat Z-bugs. Good night and Godspeed. Good night and Godspeed.